And we're live! Hello and welcome to the 72nd episode of Hex Therapy Live. I'm your host, Maddie Allen, and this is going to be a great show. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button now. Looks like we have a special guest who's popped up here.
I was summoned.
Yes.
I was summoned, therefore I appear.
That's really cool. You're like, it's like I said your name 3 times and there you are.
Yep, it happens. So what's going on, man?
How's it going?
Going pretty good. Had an interesting phone call today. I'm guessing that's what you want me to tell people about.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a phone call today from a casting director. And what they're doing is they do a show like How Things Work. They do a show that's like one of the shows that they do is like How Things Work. So they wanted to, and they're kind of like covering the Halloween thing. So they wanted to know what I do for the industry, etc. So we spent like the first 30 minutes of the conversation talking about the industry and how I got into it and all that kind of stuff. And they're casting for this show or looking for talent or interesting people for their show. And they're like, well, how much do you bring in? And I said, well, I used to think it was a lot, and then I got into cryptocurrency. And then the subject changed real quick. So we went on for the next hour talking about cryptocurrency with the casting director who happened to have a compromised wallet because he didn't know any better than to take pictures of his seed phrase. And so, of course, I immediately told him, I said, okay, you have already compromised your wallet. You need to set up a new MetaMask wallet. You do not write I went through the thing with him. You don't take pictures. You don't upload it to the cloud. You need to manually write it down. And then you transfer your funds to that wallet that is not compromised. So he was very interested to know, with as much as he follows cryptocurrency, that there is a new fork that is coming out that he was completely unaware of. And he wanted to know why. He wanted to know why he was completely unaware of it, as a normal person would. So I had to express to him the corruption of the crypto space and how things really work as opposed to how people think they work. And we went on for about an hour about it. And he said, we would like to bring you on. We do this other show and maybe just skip this whole Halloween thing. Maybe we need to bring you on as an expert to talk to us about crypto and what is changing in the environment. Because apparently we're a little out of touch with that. And we do a show for Bloomberg. So let me get my director to contact you. Let's set an appointment. And they were really quick to set an appointment. How about next Wednesday? So I was like, okay. I said, but the guy you really need to be talking to isn't me. You should be talking to Richard Hart. He's the one that's developing this new ecosystem that is going to change the crypto space as we know it.
Oh, come on. They can talk to both of you. Both of you freaking rock.
So I'm trying to pass it off here again. I'm getting accidental attention. So, and it's frustrating too, because really it started out as recognition for the things that I've done and the business that I've built. And then we talked about medical products and we talked about how I got into the medical and doing the surgical trainers. We talked about all that stuff too. But it just got like totally wiped out when the cryptocurrency topic came up. And the reason is not because I'm a moon boy. It's because I'm a skeptic. And the fact that I told him, no. That isn't how it is. This is what people aren't telling you. It's a pay to play system. The influencers are paid. The market ranking sites are paid. The exchanges are paid. It's all a pay to play system. And the people that are in charge of the system do not want innovation. They do not want power to the people. They do not want to improve other people's lives. What we are doing is we are building an entirely new ecosystem that is going to enable everybody to participate at their own level without being penalized and kicked in the teeth on their way into the crypto space. And they like that because they're used to people saying, oh, but Bitcoin's the future. Blah, 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 blah. That's what they're used to, right? So they weren't used to somebody who was being critical of the crypto space that's actually very successful in the crypto space, but is very critical of it and very judgmental on the things and the way things are progressing. So that was that whole twist that it's like, no, we have to do this other thing now because we need to talk to somebody who has a different perspective because this was stuff they never heard before. So mainstream has no idea what's going on because they're 8 years behind. And I told him, I said, well, of course not. I said, mainstream media is 8 years behind. And he's like, I know, that's what it sounds like. We've got a lot of catching up to do. So he was very excited, very happy that we, uncompromised his wallet. Very happy that he's going to get this new airdrop that he has absolutely nothing to do to get it. And very interested in why this news is not public and it's being suppressed and whom is suppressing it and why. And why. So, yeah. So it's going to be interesting.
I was looking on some like Rao Paul Real Vision post today on Twitter, and they were like, who should we have as a guest? It's like 300 comments that all say Richard Hart, and then like 5 that say something else. So what you're doing, is important, and what everybody else is doing too to get the word out. I mean, that's how something organic spreads, is that people are asking the questions that you're being asked, right? That are, why is this being suppressed? Well, it's being suppressed because nobody's paying to get the word out. Everybody who knows about Hex and understands it puts their money into Hex, not into advertising Hex. And if Johnny, if I ask you, like, so what's your plan? Like, next week you're going to go on to Bloomberg and explain how Hex works, and then what, like dump on everybody's heads? Is that your plan?
No, that's what everybody else does. No, I'm sticking through this because I know what we're building over here.
Yeah, and many of us are time locked, so like there's no rush to dump on anybody's heads. It's more of a long-term play, and long-term things I think take a while to play out. And wow, it's so exciting. Like, Bloomberg really is mainstream, and like Main Street may see that interview.
Well, they're not under the influence of these idiots, right? So if the idiots chime in and say, don't have that guy on Bloomberg, that's just gonna make them want to know more. They're gonna be like, why? What's going on there? What do I need to know?
Yeah. So, show the evidence. Where did the chart hurt you? And, the past 7 months of doing a normal correction, like everything else in crypto, doesn't count when you're still up, thousands of percent. So,
yeah, we were talking about that last night. I called Matty. I was talking to him last night. We were collecting our Pulse Doge.
Pulse Doge coin.
Well, whichever one it is.
That's right.
So yeah, that was funny. Well, we did get the drop. It didn't drop down to 36 cents, but we did get that drop, and we did get a pump in Hex. So I'm partially right.
Yeah. I mean,
we're up
I was
to
telling Johnny, cents. Like I don't trade. Like if I get an airdrop, I like sell half of it or all of it, and then I never buy the thing again. Although I sometimes like to look at the price and imagine, how much worse I could have done if I didn't sell and buy Hex or cash out or whatever I've done. So
well, it did spike up to 250 for a little bit, but it's now down lower, so it's okay. We did all right.
I put out a video about it earlier today because I think that the mechanics are so interesting of, that they're only giving, they're not giving the whales and the sharks very much. They're giving everybody else more. And then
it's their version of the silly whale silly whale penalty, which is actually smart because the whales do not need their token. So that's probably pretty smart, you know.
It's smart. And then, unlike Hedron, where, the whales are able to dump forever until their average stake comes out or whatever, it's like, the maximum that a single address can dump, even if you're the perfect size squid or dolphin or whatever, is like, you're only able to get out like $1,000 or $1,500 somewhere in there. And so the people who are dumping aren't necessarily able to dump as much because they don't have as much.
Right.
So
yeah, but this happens all the time in design. And people think things are good ideas until they actually run the real models, and then you find out what actually happens versus what you think people are going to do, because you can't, when it's a free and open market, you cannot control the behavior of others. You can speculate, and this is why testing is very important. Before you launch something, testing it, running the theory, doing surveys, finding out what the behavior might be.
Is true.
Getting a good analysis on it before your product launches. You can't. They did want to get Hedron out before Pulse launched. And I mean, we don't know what it's going to do 3 years from now, but we do know that there's a lot of selling pressure now, and that could be opportunity in the future. It might not be.
Depends how popular the meme ends up being.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to be popular and who's going to buy what. I mean, things that should not pump at all, that have no dynamics or game theory or anything, just a picture and a promise, can pump, because the only thing that matters is that more people buy than sell, and then the price moves up. That's it. That's the only thing that actually matters on the chart. Adoption, well, it doesn't really matter if it gains more people if the people that are in are still dumping money into it. So, you can't, it's like, I saw a post today. Someone's like, I'm sorry, folks, Pulse is not going to 10,000x. There's just no way. I'm like, this dude's got to be like the biggest retard on the face of the planet, And I hate to use words like that, but it's like, look, dude, a 10,000x in Pulse is a $1 Pulse. All right. Doge almost made it to $1, and it was made as a joke. If you think something that is going to reduce the painful fees on the Ethereum network, that is deflationary, that's going to allow yield farming to be utilized as it was intended to do, save new artists and people making new tokens on Ethereum fees for startups, and you don't think that's going to have any sort of adoption, you're in the wrong industry. Plain and simple. Hex did 10,000x with maximum suppression, maximum resistance, maximum attacks and accusations, and it still outperformed everything else in the past 2 years as a result of its design. Period. That's all there's to it. So if somebody thinks something that is more openly accepted, there is a major demand for it at this moment, right? That it can't do the same or better than Hex did within the next 2 years. I don't know what they're smoking, man. I mean, it's
what are they smoking? It's not 420 anymore, people.
Maybe they just had a little too much.
I mean, I've got a supporting document here that I'm going to try to bring up on the screen. It's basically a review of how high Pulse Chain can go by Hex McKenzie. Shout out to you. And as soon as my computer sends it, then we'll be able to see it. And then it'll be here forever, and I'll be able to show it whenever I want. But the basic idea is that Pulse Chain, it can do, things that are not designed well, that are like Pulse Chain, have done
Have
super
done
well.
Yeah, look at
They've
Matic.
done thousands of
Matic
X.
did very well. Matic was under a penny. Matic went up to like $2. I think it's like somewhere around $1.42 right now. So a penny, there's 100, from a penny to $1.42 is 142x, 142 times your money. I don't know how many people are going to be trying to sell PulseX. We were having that discussion. I don't know how many people are going to be willing to sell their Pulse after seeing what Hex did year one. Obviously there's always going to be those people that, you just can't reach, that are going to race each other to the bottom, trying to sell the bottom, and they will wreck themselves, and they will just, and then they just do this perpetual thing where they think they're winning, and they look like that guy on that meme where he's punching himself and he thinks he's punching the other guy, and it's self-harm, right? If you think about it, if you think everybody's going to dump and you try to race people to dump, you are literally competing with other people to sell at the worst possible price. It doesn't make any sense, but people still do it. So yeah, the AVAX doing, what is it? Is that, I can't
56x in 329 days. BNB 33x in 245 days. Solana 1200x in 574 days. Luna 1000x in a couple of years. FTM 2200x in a couple of years. Atom 41x 553 days. CeeLo 14x 469 days. So the average is a 656x in 1.4 years.
So here's the real kicker of that. They're all ghost chains. Solana can't even stand up on its own. It gets
none of them are deflationary, right? Or maybe one is.
And they're inflationary. Yeah. So you've got the fact that they're inflationary, they're ghost chains, and there is no real comparison there. By design, Pulse should dwarf them, because and the other thing is, whether you like it or not, you're going to have coins on the Pulse chain.
I like it.
Whether you like it or not, if the exchanges do not list it, the only place people will be able to interact with all those free tokens that they gave them is PulseX.
I like it.
So either the exchanges decide they're going to list Pulse and be friendly and not miss out on this opportunity, or they literally give us a monopoly in which people have no other choice but to come to PulseX and try it for penny fees. And then the exchanges are then going to have to convince them why they need to come back to them and pay more once they understand the freedom that they have communicating with the code directly from their wallet without middlemen for cheaper fees. Even if they went back to the centralized exchanges, the first time they locked their money down, they ain't going back, because they've already experienced the light at the end of the tunnel. They know what's going on, once they've had their chance. And if they want to interact with their PRC20 tokens, if the only place that has them and the most largest liquidity of any other exchange out there.
So they can list us and increase our visibility to the majority of people who need to get with it, or they can gatekeep us and
lose.
Then other people will organically refer people to us. So
they've got to have
way, people are going to come and get their free money.
Yeah, come get your free money. That's it. If you can't, look, people go to stores, go to the big box stores. Why did the big box stores hurt the mom and pop stores? Because you go one-stop shop, right? You don't want to go to this store for the one thing and this store for one thing and this store for another thing. And if centralized exchanges, their method of listing was, their pay-to-play scenario, If you don't pay them, you don't get listed there. Most coins do not have the ability to pay all of these different exchanges to get the exposure, right? So they don't get listed, but in a couple places. So the thing is, every coin under the sun, good or bad, will be available at your discretion on PulseX. So it is the store that has all of the items that you can imagine or look for, and they will be available with liquidity pools day one. So do you go to this store, this store, this store, this store, this store, or do you do all your business at Pulse Chain or PulseX where you're paying penny fees?
I think that people will decide to do what's best for them. And that's what game theory is based on. And that's what all of crypto is based on, including Bitcoin, stopping double spends, burning electricity, et cetera, et cetera. Did we mention we're not going to be burning electricity like all the other cryptos? And furthermore, I would like to say on these other exchanges, you know, you're supposed to have a walled garden, okay? But Pulse Chain is going to come and vampire attack you. What is this? A walled garden for ants? Because there's lots of people who are just going to, you know, jump and skip and hop right over this little baby walled garden that Binance has and Coinbase has and all these other FTX, all these centralized exchanges that are good for nothing, maybe except doing a little bit of fiat onboarding, but you know.
So here's the thing, Maddie. Who has boots on the ground teaching people how to use crypto firsthand? We do. We've got the Crypto Sparbuck group running around teaching people, boots on the ground, conducting seminars, teaching people. So what are they going to direct them to? They're going to direct them to PulseX. Okay. Well, if they direct them to PulseX, people that have experience on PulseX are never going. This is the blockbustering effect. Okay. When companies feel that they are too big to fail, they get comfortable and they say, oh, we'll never get replaced. We're top of the food chain. Nothing ever is going to come along and replace us. Blockbuster. Netflix. Did Netflix just take a dive? Netflix just took a massive dive. Why? Because it has competitors. Competition is healthy. Change doesn't happen unless there's competition. It doesn't. Because the companies get too comfortable with exploiting their users, and they're comfortable. They don't have to do anymore. They don't have to prove anything if you have no choice. It's like guarding one road in the town and making all the peasants pay a fee to come through, and they don't have a choice but to pay that fee. Why? Because it's the only road. Well, it's not the only road anymore. It's not the only experience anymore. In fact, just going over there and trying it is going to be all we're going to really need for adoption, because how do you get somebody to go spend $30 in an ATM when there's another ATM over here that costs you a penny? How does that work exactly? Where is the way that you lose in this?
I mean, I'll play devil's advocate and say, like, the person who's charging $30 to make their ATM run is going to have a bigger marketing budget, which is why it's kind of cool that our ATM is giving out free money, because that's the best advertising literally in the world.
Well, and the other aspect of that is again, when these other things fail and we're still standing and we're still talking, that is what happens? What happens if Binance is no longer the big exchange? What happens if Binance goes under and it becomes obsolete?
Yo, I was at the Bitcoin conference a week and a half ago, and I met the owner of a previous largest Bitcoin exchange in history, Bobby Lee, who's Charlie Lee's brother, who made Litecoin. But BTC China was at one point the largest volume Bitcoin exchange in the world. And yeah, what happens when you're not number one anymore? You go down the rank. You make
Binance was not number one. Coinbase was not number one. Whales will tell you the exchanges we have today were not here. Okay? They're younger than you think. Binance really didn't hit its top until like 2017. That's when Binance kind of got all of its power. And the thing
somebody
is,
had to hunt down Arthur Hayes and hit him with a federal indictment before somebody else could move in and get all the shady transaction volume stuff going again, like Binance does.
well, this is all a matter of change. Technology is nothing if it's technology and innovation is nothing if it's not for change. That's what it is. It's defined as change. It's increasing, and expanding, and you can get this idea real quick. If you go back in the Wayback Machine and you look at coins 3 years ago, where are they? You look at how many exchanges have gone under. They've gone under. Binance put a lot of other exchanges under when they became the king and they held the crown, but they weren't number one when they took the crown, and they won't be number one on the way down either. And again, if you don't have to pay middlemen, why would you? And I'm telling you, Pulse X will dwarf any volume any exchange has ever seen in the history of crypto. Year one. You hear me? I'm saying
you heard
Pulse X exchange will dwarf the volume of any exchange ever known up until this point within 1 year. That's not a lie. You watch. And here's another bold one. What happens when the people that come into the crypto space come in through Pulse, and 40% of all new people that come into crypto come in through Pulse? What then? Why would those people go through Ethereum and pay $30 fees?
Yeah, that'll be pretty sweet.
So what happens? I'll tell you what happens. What happens is you build a new culture. You build a new set of expectations that people have and what they will not accept anything less than. Because once they have the good experience, they know better. The problem is the way the system is currently set up is the Walmart greeters of the space that know nothing, that are paid shills, direct them to the market cap sites, which are also paid shills in order to pay to be on their okay list. So you can buy here, look at our shopping list, we know better than you. And then the exchanges, what do? They get paid to list the coin. So what happens when we bypass that altogether? People's first experience is penny fees, directly interacting with the contract, no middlemen. Why are they going to want the middlemen? I mean, obviously there's always going to be people that want the custodian, right? They want the easy dapp. They want to believe that they hold crypto even though they don't, right? They want the Robinhood app. So it says you have an IOU for crypto that you don't actually hold because you don't actually have a wallet. You just got an IOU for some crypto that you don't really hold, but you think you're in crypto. But eventually people will get educated,
I hope so, man. I hope so.
Well, I know a lot of the crypto space is going to get educated really damn quick. And then they're going to be very much questioning the mainstream narrative because they're going to have a good experience. And if they have that good experience, they're going to have a hard time saying, well, this is going pretty good over here. I really don't understand what the fuss is about, right? Until that fuss becomes so quiet that nobody can hear it anymore because nobody cares about their narrative.
Well, man, yeah, I don't know what the haters really are still doing here on this channel, but I had a bunch of people comment and say that they're disappointed in me for telling people how to get their free money today. And all those people can go suck
free money, it's no risk. And
I read the MetaMask stuff on how to know. I literally read, I taught people how to read code today so that they can think for themselves and use the tools that they didn't even know about so that they can decide for themselves whether they want to take a certain risk. And
Did
if you
anybody
trust
tell any of you
MetaMask,
guys to go out and buy the coin? No, we told you how to claim it. That's it. So you know what? That
and people
if
are
we
hating
would've
on me like
everybody
like
was happy when we told them to claim Uniswap, weren't they?
Yeah, we were ecstatic, but now people are so butthurt about what I said about Hedron, which is totally different. So let me educate, the dummies on the channel. It's and I know 95% of the people on this channel are like, the big brain people who are tuning in to, get all the new knowledge and all that kind of stuff. But it's yeah, I mean,
Now you got
I
me
don't
looking
even,
through the comments. I want to see who I
it's
got.
well, I just for my own well-being, I deleted a couple of them because I was just like, I was shocked by the stupidity of the comments, and it was like, I don't want somebody to come along and be able and see like 95% of the people who are watching this are smart, but 95% of the people who are making comments are dumb. It was the wrong situation. And a lot of times I'll leave comments up if they just if they disagree with me in a kind way, in a way that's not like a personal attack or something. But yeah, so tradable stakes are completely different than a free claim for a meme coin. And so if you're here because you want somebody who hates things that are built on top of Hex and Pulse Chain, then you came to the wrong place, because I don't hate things that are being built. I don't hate free money. I don't hate teaching people how to read code and to protect themselves and to understand their own security in ways that are going to be extremely profitable for people. I mean, look, if you if you get $200 or $500 or $1,500 worth of Pulse Doge, and you buy the dip in Hex that we have right now, or you buy the dip in Pulse Chain, if that ever happens, then you could be looking at tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. And so I take it very seriously when people criticize my every effort. It would be like if somebody came along and said, Maddie, we're really disappointed that you made the Hex conference only $369 for 4 days, including food and merch. We're disappointed in you for that. Like, I work really hard to do things that I think are going to make a difference, because we're early in a place where incredible things can happen. People's lives can be changed. And so it just blows me away.
Man, I was starving, and I took my sandwich out to the parking lot for the car show, and was like stuffing the sandwich down my mouth because I was like, and I'm sitting there. Everyone's like, Johnny. I'm like, where's the sandwich? It was like freaking hilarious.
So, but as a psychologist, I have a theory about how I can solve this problem for myself, because I can't block all the hate, and it's like I shouldn't get so stuck on it. But really, I mean, there are plenty of YouTubers who are gone now because of this super small percentage of people who are haters. It's not worth it. You became a millionaire in crypto, and now, there's a few people hating on you, and you're just like, whatever, screw it. Like, so my solution here is to sprinkle in a little bit of what Richard does, because mark my words, if I unbox something and somebody criticizes me for it, I will not care one bit, because I don't take this seriously at all, and I don't care at all about it. And so the haters typically are the people who are so lazy that they will go after the low-hanging fruit. So I'm going to give them some low-hanging fruit that I really don't care about, and we'll see if anybody hates on me for flaunting this designer stuff instead of hating on me for, trying to change people's lives and make more people rich. So what do we have here? So this is, oh, look at this hat. This is, you can't even get these. Okay. It's a misprint. And so it's, not for sale, and screw you. You had to go to the Hex conference to get one. Oh, and then what's this? Oh, is this the Nike shoes from Back to the Future in a way cooler, like, design? Oh yeah. And these, they charge by putting them on a charging mat, and they charge wonderfully. They lace themselves. You just pop these puppies on, and they make you taller. I mean, what's not to love here? They come in this giant shoebox. I mean, look at this thing. We're just unboxing them right now. Like, here's the box, there it is. So
I got Ray-Bans.
Those are cool.
They're like 5 years old, and they were given to me by a client. I would never buy a pair of Ray-Bans.
The viewership just jumped like 10%.
Did it really? I would never buy a pair of Ray-Bans. I wouldn't spend the money. I'm too damn cheap. In fact, I'm not doing any conventions until 2025. I'm done. I came to visit. I told y'all I'd come out and hang out. If y'all didn't come to see me, that's your problem, not mine. I understand some people couldn't make it, would have liked to have been there. But again, I'm not running up and down the road. I did not get rich and famous so that I could be everybody else's circus monkey. Okay?
That's right.
And I didn't want the famous part. But apparently I'm going to be on, well, I don't know yet. So things can hit cutting room floor. So it might not happen.
Johnny's like, you're a rare breed of somebody who like doesn't want the fame. However, you're so good that people follow you anyway.
I hate it. I do.
You're about to blow up on Bloomberg. You're gonna have 1 million followers in crypto.
Oh, I'm scared, man. That's the stuff that scares me. That's what keeps me from doing it. It's like, and everyone's like, well, dude, I've been following you this whole time. You don't follow me back. You know how hard it is to keep up with 500 people that I do follow? It's like, that's 10% of my following. I follow back, and I engage like everybody, So it's like hard to follow because then your feed gets filled up and you're like, what am I following? You start missing information because you fill your feed with it. So it's not anything personal. And like everybody wants to add me on Facebook now too. And it's like, no, this is, I don't want to do that. I don't want to grow the social media presence. I'm trying not to grow my social media presence. My 1,200 people that I know on Facebook are people that I've actually physically met. Okay. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I do conventions with tens of thousands of people. So to know 1,200 people is not out that crazy,
Well, Jerry is trying to foil your plans because he's clipped your bold PulseX declaration. So that's going to go viral too now. Great day to be Hexakin. Tin Top is asking if the shoes can wake me up in the morning. Depends if my girlfriend throws them in my face or not. But she's actually really sweet, so I don't think she would do that.
People do clip things though. That you've got people that maliciously clip. You got people that are like, we want you to fail. We
Jerry's
want
a good guy.
To say something stupid so that we can say that you fail. Well, you know what? Good luck. Told you to buy it a penny. Told you would really regret it if you sold it a penny. Screamed at the top of my lungs. Told you guys don't sell your diamonds for marbles. Hope y'all listened. You know what else I said?
Yeah.
I said T-shares are going up. T-shares are going up big time. That's when I had my moment where it clicked and I realized the progressive growth of the T-shares, and they were at $120. And then I went on a show with Crypto Sparbuck that only got 2,000 views. 2,000 views. It's 1 year old. It only got 2,000 views. And we spent all this time covering all this technical knowledge. And you know what people want? They just want drama. So we
what though? I mean, let's take a step back here. 2,000 views of people who are the high quality Hexicans that we have watching some of our channels. that actually go to meetups, that actually consistently show up for streams and that sort of thing.
But it was
is
2,000 views over a year ago. I mean, it's like now it's only 2,000 views total.
But that's an indexing and a promotion problem for linking back to the original content. If they put in their show notes, or somebody put in their show notes, or you posted to Twitter or something, I bet those numbers would go up, or restreaming it or something. I mean, there's ways to address that problem. And I would like to point out as well that the Bitcoin conference channel that just got up to 100,000 subscribers, they have had videos come out recently that got less than 2,000 views. It was like 1.9. And it's like, so that just shows you that some people, they subscribe to something and then they don't care about it anymore.
They're not engaged.
Whereas
anyway, yeah.
In our community, a channel that has 2,000 or 5,000 subscribers and has 2,000 people watching is still pretty cool, I think.
Well, I never set out to build a channel. I Twitch because people wanted longer rants, so they got them. I don't know if you like them, but you got them. So you got longer rants on my Twitch because that's more than I can do in my little 2-minuters that I throw up on. But see, you got to make things digestible for people. Nobody really wants to watch a 5-hour stream. Hell, I just went on Rock Edison's stream and we did like 5 hours. And he's like, I was picking on him. I'm like, boy, you probably solely regret that now that you asked me on the show, because now you're stuck here with me. And Freddie and why is it slipping my mind now?
Freddie Quest.
Yeah, it's Freddie, but there were 2 survivors of the night of the 420 and it's not clicking in my mind. It's hard to remember shit, guys, because there's so much going on and there's so much communication. There's so many people to talk to and there's just so much to remember. It's like imagine if you talk to 10,000 people. Okay, if you like went to a trade show and you met 10,000 people, how many of them are you actually going to remember? How many of those people are going to stand out to you, especially when you're there to do a job and you're making your sales and you're doing your thing? How many of those people are actually going to register in your brain? Your brain starts training to leave out information because it doesn't want to overload your brain by forcing a bunch of stuff that you don't really necessarily need to remember. So we had 2.5 hours of Johnny stream. Oh yeah. Gen Hex. I went on there too. Yeah. So I try to show up when you guys summon me, but that's
Well, yeah, and I appreciate you showing up here because we all got to have our hex therapy.
It's all in chaos.
Is Tangent here, or is somebody just saying the word tangent?
It was Tangent went out like when I came in.
Oh, people are guessing who you're talking about.
Girl left early. There was Big K was on there, but he didn't stay. Damn it! Why am I not remembering?
While you're remembering, I'm gonna play this commercial about me meeting a dog at the Bitcoin conference. Hello, I would like to interview you for my YouTube channel. Hello, what is your favorite dog coin? I heard that there are many good dog coins. Thank you for inspiring a generation of cryptocurrencies. I can't thank you enough. Oh, the music isn't my fault. That copyright. It's Matty ALLin, MATI, ALLin. And I brought my DeLorean here.
You a Hex guy?
Yeah. The dude from Transact. No way.
Well, my company, we finally listed Hex. Yeah.
We finally listed
yeah?
Tell me more about Mike, tell me more about that, bro. And then Matty ALLin Pub. should be in here at the end. My doppelganger. There he is.
It was Cabana. You know why I didn't remember him? He shaved his damn beard.
Wait, who shaved their beard?
Cabana, Crypto Cabana.
Did
The
he have a
person that I
beard?
forgot that was on the stream.
Yeah.
It was Crypto
You mean
Cabana.
Cabana Crypto?
Yeah. That's who it
He had a
was. He
beard?
shaved his beard, and that's why it wasn't clicking in my head. Because I was like, I knew
no
I
proof
mean, I
of
know
beard.
it was him, but it didn't click in my head because, you know, the beard is what you remember, you know. It's weird how your brain works. Really weird how your mind works.
Pulse Lord made like a whole Hex Therapy song, and then it got copyright claimed by YouTube for like the background track that he literally, I think, bought the rights to. So it's like, come on, YouTube, like stop ruining all of my collaborations with Pulse Lord. Literally, sucks. But shout out to Pulse Lord. He was watching earlier. Awesome dude. Subscribe to his channel, everybody. Pulse Lord does some cool analysis and is just a nice guy. Somebody, Dr. Craig Hinson, just got Hex logo on a rugby team. That's what's up.
Oh, that's
well
cool.
done.
I wonder if I wait till 2025 if I can just kind of sneak into the conference and nobody knows. Am I going to matter in 2 years? Am I really going to matter?
You're going to have to dress up differently than one of your alter egos, because that.
Well, I can get away with it. There are other Hex. I'm waiting. I can't divulge who, but I have an idea that at PulseCon somebody's going to be mistaken for me, even though because I'm not there, they're going to think it's me.
Yeah, I'm not going to be there either.
Yeah, there will be somebody that is. I think somebody will get mistaken for me, so I'll be in contact with him to see how many people ask him.
Yeah, send your body double there.
Mm-hmm. You know who I'm talking about, right?
No,
the one that doesn't want to be identified.
I'd have to think about it, but I'll probably either not get it or give it away. So either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna have Abid and Patrick on here later this week because they're doing a new tour and they've rebranded themselves with something that's a little bit easier to find on the internet other than Crypto Sparbuck. It's KSB.TV and stuff. I like that a lot. So shout out to them. But there will be meetups for people who are meeting up. Johnny will be in hiding, only appearing on select Hex YouTube streams and Bloomberg for millions of people. But believe us, he'll be in hiding.
Yeah, I just can't get away, can I? Well, people will talk to me, because I don't like going up. I'm a little ways from Chicago, where where I'm at. You've been here, but I'm a little ways from Chicago, but I like my town. I don't like the big city. I mean, I can run rampant around this town. There's everything we need here. If we want to go down to the pub down here, it is seat 200 people. So and there's not that many people that go down there on a regular basis. Hell, when we did the Crypto Sparbuck tour, there was 30 people that were Hexicans, and there were 6 other people in the bar. And there's a whole nother back room that we could have took over, So, and they were very happy to see us because everybody was having a good old time there. So,
yeah,
they would have had a really slow Tuesday night.
Everybody go to Johnny's for Halloween this year.
Well, I thought about doing a Halloween. Though, the problem is with throwing an event is that's a lot of responsibility. That's the kicker. There's responsibility and liability.
For sure. We'll we'll have to bring Richard Hart. It'll be it'll be like a Woodstock or something.
Johnny can blame it all on me. What can I blame on you? What did I miss?
BMA. I haven't seen that name in a minute. Shout out to you, OG.
Yeah, so I don't know. I had thought about, see, I don't even want to talk about what I thought about, because if I say it, then it has to happen. I believe that, SJ. I can see that.
Halloween rocks. Confirmed.
So, man, I spewed a lot of epicness about Pulse Chain.
Oh, I was going to talk about like the ethics of airdrops, and I started to talk a little bit about my beef, but
I said that a couple months back, that I was trying to explain to people that proof of T-shares is going to be a thing. You know, it's like the guys back in the day that had Bitcoin got all the free airdrops. Well, guess who's getting all the free airdrops now? People with T-shares. There's only one way to get them that I know of. So, and you know why that is, though? Why? Because you airdrop the people with the money. Why? Because they might buy more. You want to get the interest. You know, people that are going to be developing are going to want to get some of that profit share of those people that have already made money. So that is why proof of T-share is going to be a thing. The other thing is it does kind of tend to exclude most of the OA. So that is one way of going, is this proof of T-shares method. And I said it, you know, Hedron being the first big proof of T-share thing, but now it's going to be a running thing. With the if there happens to be any settlement out of the suit, that's going to be a proof of T-share thing. So
let me just bring up the numbers here real quick. So I think that I think we could be a little bit more precise.
Oh, the Doji numbers?
No, how much when we talk about the OA, I want to be a little bit more precise about.
I wouldn't. You know my feeling on it. You tell people.
These are all the people who watch my channel are not beginners. I scare them off in the first 3 words. So, oh, this is funny. We can still see our faces, even better. So, these are old numbers. They're not up to date, but the OA T-shares, the OA has 18% ish.
So if they were get proof of T-share, that they would get 18%.
But I think that the OA is, and I don't have the data on this. Maybe somebody else does, and you can share it with me, please. But we keep running off all of our we don't, but all the guys that do this awesome chain analysis stuff, the community pisses them off and they leave. So stop doing that. But yeah, this was made by Gunter, and yeah, this is so 18%. So I think that the OA, because it's said to have about 2,000 daughter addresses, I think that the actual T-shares, they could be broken up into Shark and Dolphin wallets. So probably a majority of the Dolphins and Sharks are the OA. But that still doesn't leave the OA with a whole ton of Pulse Doge coin. I mean, way less than Hedron gave them. So it's somewhere in between what you and I are saying, I think, is more accurate. But we don't know that the OA will even claim any Pulse Dogecoin.
Well, I was having trouble I got my staker app imported like I was supposed to, but I'm still not able to claim from my Gnosis safe.
For Hedron?
Well, I couldn't do the Hedron, or in the Pulse Doge won't. It says checking wallet for balances, and it just spins. I don't even know if you can can
So
claim.
walk through David Feeder's.
I did.
Did you connect to Gnosis Safe?
Mm-hmm.
Did it recognize?
Yep.
Did you plug in the address and it recognized?
Yep.
And
I can go into Gnosis Safe. I can pull the apps down. I can connect the apps to the wallet, so it's the app's address to the wallets. If it reads just the wallet, it says nothing's there, obviously. And if it reads the staker app, it reads the Hedron. It's listed, but I can't mint and I can't claim. And then the pop-up won't come up. The pop-up won't come up for the dapp in the Gnosis Safe in order to approve it.
Maybe you're not putting the address in the right spot where you're supposed to launch the app in Gnosis, because I would check that screen first.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I made it all the way almost to the end, but it's not. I'm not getting the pop-up. It's doing the interacting, but I'm not getting the pop-up for the approval. And I don't know, it might have something to do with the MetaMask that I downloaded for which browser that I'm using. I might have needed to use a different browser to download that MetaMask, because it might be the browser that's not allowing the pop-up or something.
Okay. Yeah, you want to use Chrome, and then you install MetaMask, and then you load your seed word if you trust that that's okay. And then, so here on my community tab, I've got a link to the video by David Feeder where he used Gnosis Safe to mint. And so basically he lays it all out, but you're going to install MetaMask here, and then you're going to put in your secret recovery phrase, and then you're going to like put a little bit of ETH in that account that is not the actual stake wrap address. And then
I wonder if it's the fact that I don't have any Ethereum.
Yeah, you got to put a tiny little bit of ETH in there.
And it's got to be in the wallet that isn't?
Yeah, in both.
This kind of gives you like.
Where does it come out of, though? Does it come out of your vault, or does it come out of your address that the vault is in?
So for me, I had to take ETH from another wallet entirely. So like, we could imagine that I took it from like Coinbase, because I didn't want people tracking all my wallets every which way. So I just sent a little bit of ETH from Coinbase to the address that I spun up from the seed words in MetaMask.
Mm-hmm.
And I should also point out that if you type in that seed word incorrectly, it will take you to the wrong address. So you can actually, with any seed
you hack
phrase,
somebody else's address.
It's not somebody else's, but it's just one that doesn't exist. And it's like there's hundreds of quadrillion. There's so many possibilities that it's impossible to guess somebody else's. Even if you're running a computer that's constantly generating seed words, you will never even find anybody's wallet. I guess is how that security goes. But yeah, so very important that if something's not working out, it could be because you entered the seed incorrectly. MetaMask will catch it if you type a word that's not a real seed word. So the seed words are taken from a list of 2,000 words.
Yeah.
So, and it'll tell you right away, but it's very possible, whether you're putting in that like a 50 character private key or a 12 word or 24 word seed phrase, that if you get something wrong, then it could spin you up a wallet that's not the one that you intended. Anyway, so we're going here, and then so here's where
controls and your coins actually live in the safe, which is it's kind of interesting.
So he's talking about how the coins are living inside of the safe that's inside of this seed phrase wallet. And so you open the web app, and then I think go over here to the left.
Yeah, I got in there. I've got my coins in there. I can see my stakes. you know, on
Sorry,
Hex, you know, so I can
clear the.
I got that, but my pop-ups aren't coming up.
All right, so when you get here,
The
it's gonna
pop-ups
Okay.
of approval are not coming up.
and you're
Okay.
gonna go ahead and click.
And it
on
might be because I don't have any
load
ETH in the
existing
address. So
safe.
it's just saying
Because
you've got
you
no
got
ETH.
one,
You
'cause
couldn't
that's
do
when
this
your
anyway.
protocol
So maybe we're
is.
just going to
It's actually
stop you.
Nexus safe. So we're gonna click
Yeah, it's weird that
existing
it's
safe.
not popping up at all.
And
No, it's not popping
Um,
up at all. Usually it would say
Go
insufficient
ahead and
balance or
click on
something like
connect
that. But
yeah.
but
Or
it might be
yeah.
the fact that it's a brand new wallet
MetaMask.
that doesn't have anything in it and has never had anything in it,
For
except now
MetaMask,
it's got
yes,
the
we want
Gnosis
to
safe in
connect.
it.
Click next.
So you connect. So this is the thing that didn't pop up.
Right, good. So
No, this works
Okay.
right here.
MetaMask is connected. Safe. Perfect. We're
And
gonna
then
add
did you put in
existing
the
safe.
staker app
Click
address?
on
Yeah,
connect
yeah,
on
Okay.
Ethereum.
yeah.
There's
It's
a
the
friendly
staker
link.
app address
Do
is
it
in
on
the
your phone.
thing.
Which that can be hard to find.
what you're
That's
gonna
not
do is on
something
your
most
phone,
people would write
you're gonna
down.
take
So
your
if you
phone,
like wrote
go to
down your
staker
seed
app,
words and then deleted your staker app, that
and
would be
then
tricky
let me
to
show you here, 'cause I-
regenerate. And also,
Yeah.
you want to write down what your email address was that you signed up with. Otherwise, you won't be able to
once you're in
recover
staker app on your
anything, which
phone,
I think
on
is
the
a bad
bottom right,
design.
click on
Yeah.
where it says the wallet button.
Which is
Then
crazy.
you're gonna click
And
on the deposit button.
And
an
one
issue.
address per email too.
And then you're gonna see
But the other way that you can do that is if you funded the staker app wallet, even though the seed word that you have will not show you what that address is, you can still go on chain and hunt down what the address of the staker app wallet is, even if you don't have access to it anymore, by looking at where you sent your transaction from previously. So it could be a ton of work, but there are ways to like recover the staker app wallet, even if you don't have all the info that, you know, people switch phones all the time. I mean, it's but
this
bad
QR
design
code here, and there's also text. You can either copy and paste.
so he's finding that address, and
If you have a
then
webcam on like your laptop.
So
naming
up to
it.
this point, I got it. So it's when he clicks mint,
Here it is. Great.
the pop-up that comes up isn't coming up. So see how that he'll get a pop-up that comes up and then you approve.
And then
I don't get to do
here
that.
is our staker app.
Okay,
So
because he had to
when you
add
staker
it
app, you'll
in
see
a certain
if
way.
you have any. One of my first times ever did that.
So he had to add the Hedron.pro.
Yeah, I added that.
Website,
Here.
Hedron app.
Okay.
website.
Right. Yeah.
So we're gonna do it.
And then
go ahead
when
and
you
search
click mint,
Go to the top and copy.
it just
this URL.
spins.
It's
Maybe it's
No
that it
approval.
didn't connect.
we're gonna click on
Maybe that's the
connect
part that
wallet.
got missed.
Yeah, well, I connected the wallet and my stakes show up, or my
Okay.
holdings show up.
Okay, then that would confirm
Now it
that
says
it's.
search wallet
What about this?
Yep.
Did you go to a Wallet Connect?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I cut and pasted that other thing.
But I think you have to use a little bit of ETH somewhere in here to do some sort of connection.
It doesn't cost any ETH to do that.
Paste that in here.
It didn't ask for any.
Okay.
That's
Now
just
it says
it.
search
It's not
wallet.
asking for any ETH. It's just not working.
Say wallet connect.
Okay, so maybe Wallet Connect isn't
Alright,
working
so
from
it's
the
connected.
browser
Okay.
you use.
What I'm thinking is maybe
So
the
now
Wallet
here we go.
Connect
Now
isn't
click on Wallet
working for the
Connect. Now it
browser
says
that I'm
paste
using.
your
Is
wallet
what I'm
QR
thinking.
code connection. Now we go back to Hedron. Click on Connect Wallet. Wallet Connect.
Oh, you have to connect to
And it
Wallet
gives you this
Connect.
QR
Did you
code.
do this part?
Yeah.
And then I think
Okay,
you can
alright.
even
If you didn't, you wouldn't be able to see your
copy to
stakes.
clipboard. Just click down here at the bottom where it says copy to clipboard. Go back.
Copy
to
to
Gnosis,
clipboard, paste it over
paste that
here,
in.
Okay.
and then you're connected, and
Now,
it gives you the option to
I just
disconnect. So I was
link
connected to it.
our Gnosis
And
safe
then
with,
this is where I have the problem is when he bounces
Hedron.
back over to Hedron and he clicks mint,
so now
I'm not getting
go
the
back
approval.
to Hedron. And
So
boom, you can see if you let me zoom out a little.
now
Yeah, so
when he
now
clicks
if you
this,
scroll down on Hedron.pro after doing this, you'll see your hex stakes here. Right here
Yep.
they are. So now you can go over to the right and you can either claim or mint. And if you go check my past video, I talked about what the difference is between those
and
two
this it
are.
just spins to infinity. Once I click it, it spins into
It
infinity.
goes out pretty easily. Claiming
That's
just
where I
locks in
stop.
the bonus multiplier, but does not give you your coins. Minting locks in the 10x bonus multiplier and mints your coins right now. For the sake of this demo, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to mint them. Let's let it rip. Okay, so click the mint button. Now we go back to Gnosis Safe.
And it doesn't give me that.
Pop up here. And now it's asking you to approve the transaction. It's going to say, hey, do you want to do this?
That's the part I don't
Scroll down.
get.
Say
It doesn't
submit.
show up.
Okay.
It just spins
It's going
infinitely.
to pop up with your MetaMask, asking for you for permissions to do the mint. And then this
Yeah,
is
for
where
some
you
reason
were
there had to be
putting
some
earlier
ETH in
from
there
Coinbase or wherever you got it from.
in the wallet
That's where
that
this
is
comes in.
not
So
the
now you can
staker
pay the
wallet.
gas fee to mint the Hedron. So we're going to click confirm.
Okay, well, hopefully that's helpful. That
Well, I can put it, like I said, I've watched that video. I went all the way through that video. The only thing I did not do is move any ETH in there yet.
make sure MetaMask is not locked.
No, it wasn't locked. I mean, it's frustrating because it's like I know what I'm doing, but
yeah.
but it's still not working. It's audio is bad. Whose audio is bad? My audio is bad.
I don't know whose audio is bad. Be more specific, please.
Maybe they were talking about the David video.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. You can watch it on your own time. That's why we make them, so you can go back and watch them.
You have to go back to the Gnosis page to see the pop-up. Okay.
Yeah, I did that too.
When you change your browser, it won't allow you to continue as when you connected it first. I had a similar issue.
Change the browser.
Needs ETH in the owner wallet.
Does need ETH in the owner wallet.
Hit the like and subscribe button, people. You can't find this content anywhere else right now because we're making it here.
Yeah, and nobody else is teaching you how to use the Gnosis Safe, are they?
No.
Funny
when I went
how
to
that
claim
is.
Maxi from my Trezor, I don't think you claim Maxi. I think you
You trade for it.
Yeah, you
It's
trade
a derivative. You're trading for it. It's a 1-to-1 swap.
Yeah, that does seem suspect. I would have left as well.
What seems suspect? I didn't get.
Something about Chrome browser wanted to share keys from MetaMask.
Ooh. No, that's not good.
No, don't do that. Looks like a few people had issues.
You can send it to a wallet. Look, if you guys want to avoid the claiming issues or trading or whatever, okay, you could send. If you wanted to, for Maxi, for instance, you would send ETH to an address that you don't use normally. You can do your exchange there, and then you take that coin, and then you can move it to your cold storage. Okay. So, people were upset about Bitcoin and thinking that Richard was going to take all their money back in the day, right? Well, the thing was, there was zero risk. You know why? Because once the snapshot was taken, you could move all of your Bitcoin out of that wallet address into a completely different address, right? And still claim because the snapshot had occurred. So there wasn't actually any Bitcoin left in that wallet to risk anybody stealing it, because all you were doing was signing a signature that said, I had Bitcoin in this wallet at the time of the snapshot. It's no longer there, but it was there when the snapshot was taken, so it was accredited. So, but unfortunately, people didn't know that, and we couldn't explain it to them because they'd tell us to shut up. We were a bunch of scammers. So, well, screw them. They missed out.
Come on, people. You could have had 10,000 hex per Bitcoin for free.
12. Self-refer.
On a free claim?
Yeah. Yeah, you actually got 32% more if you self-referred to your own wallet, because I
think I did that.
Yeah. So you could have got 2 million hacks on day 33 for $80.
Oh, somebody else said that they had a problem where MetaMask didn't activate the pop-up because they didn't have any ETH in the owner wallet. That seems strange, but if it happened to somebody else, it's possible.
It could happen. Yeah. Well, I guess I could throw some ETH in there, and if that doesn't work, then I can delete that one, set up a new browser. It's just so annoying. So much extra steps. Can you imagine it? we're like the first for all new innovations in this space. We are. Who was the first to really use the DEXs? Who was really the first to provide liquidity? Look at how much, that freaking 40% of all volume. This is where I get that 40% from, guys. Think about this for a second. When we moved to MetaMask, when we moved to Uniswap, we were 40% of all the volume on the exchange. We were first. We were first to push out, you need an audit. You need your code checked, right?
And you can go back and look at Uniswap V1 liquidity pools, and you can see Hex in the top. So
top number one traded coin, yeah, and it held there for a long time too. Who brought all the adoption to MetaMask? Hexicans.
Lots of coins.
Well, I never even heard of MetaMask until Hex came out. Sure. I was using Ledger and Treasure, and I wasn't utilizing MetaMask at all. So, I mean, you didn't, because the reason we had to download MetaMask was because you needed a front end to operate the code. And I mean, yeah, I get it, Maddie. We're not the only ones around, but I guarantee we brought a larger majority to the popularity of using MetaMask. DEXs were around before we were around, but we made them popular. You know, people still now, they don't know that they can't use DEXs because DEXs become unusable because Ethereum cranked up their fees, and that was just a matter of design because they had to preserve. I mean, you think Coinbase and Binance haven't been watching their pocketbooks get emptied because people were using the decentralized exchanges? You don't think they were looking at that volume and going, oh my God, look at how much money we're missing? Because people are no longer using the middlemen.
It's true.
You know, it goes beyond that. The liquidity farming. Oh my God, you mean people can make money without trading? You mean they make money off of other people trading like we do? No, we can't have the average person competing with our trading fees. No, we need to make the trading fees. Normal people aren't allowed to collect trading fees. So ETH going up wrecked everything DeFi. That gas cost increase wrecked everything DeFi. You couldn't liquidity farm. You could not afford to use DEXs. It was costly to get in and out of everything. So what did that happen? Well, the exchanges can allow you to exchange for cheap fees. Why? Because you're not you're exchanging basically not a derivative, paper. Okay, those coins are not in your wallet until you cash them out. Okay, the majority of the coins are in their wallet, so they don't have to pay the transaction fees because they're not really moving anything anywhere. All they're doing is moving the unit of account that represents the crypto that you own. And that's how they can do it for no fees if they wanted to. And that's how come the Ethereum network on the DEXs, you can't, because you're paying for the transaction because you are physically moving it from place to place. So what that happened was bass backwards. Okay, so that made DEXs completely unusable. That stifled DeFi. It put a hurt on yield farming, and it kept that whole space from growing and developing, because if the fees would have stayed down, people would have gotten used to working outside of the centralized exchanges, and they wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Bye centralized exchanges.
They have to hold on. Yeah, that's coming. They have to hold on to what power they can. So what did that force? Well, that forced new solutions. What is that new solution? Well, that new solution is Pulse. What does Pulse now incentivize? People to hold their own keys, keep their cryptos off exchanges like you're supposed to in the first place, get away from middlemen, you interact directly with the code, you provide liquidity on your own, and you are not going to get burnt to death in fees that are going to eat up any yield that you may make. So it's going to make the yield farming and the liquidity providing and the NFTs mintable and everything affordable. For the first time really ever, it's going to make those things affordable. something that should have happened. I mean, it stifled us 2 years. It really stifled the innovation and growth of the crypto space by 2 years. You know, when people are doing short-term stakes and they have to pay, you know, $100 to end a $100 stake, they think it's a scam. They don't realize it's not Hex that's doing that. It's the Ethereum network that is charging the toll and eating all their profit, right? So when people can be profitable again without trading, this is going to be a change of the way the system is fundamentally ran, and this happens. You know, these changes are necessary when you don't get innovation unless there's barriers to overcome.
Like some people are asking about like what the utility is of Staker app, and I don't want people to be confused that like I'm recommending Staker app because literally because they have failed to give people the button that they need to claim these airdrops, we literally have to like walk people through this super complicated process that like kind of makes things less secure because, you know, you're having to enter your seed words to claim an airdrop, and not, you know, the whole purpose that Staker app came out for was to make things easy for people. But, you know, and I don't know if Steph didn't claim his Hedron, but it seemed like he made a tweet about it. So it's like, why did he get to claim his Hedron, but he didn't let his users claim their Hedron? Like he didn't give them the button, right? We all rally against Robinhood for taking away the buy button for a bunch of users. And I think it's really embarrassing that Staker app has not made a claim button, because we know that there are going to be more and more airdrops coming. And, you know, it's the app that said that they were going to be secure and easy to use. And that's the least easy to use way to claim your stuff. So hopefully they get their act together and they pay out their referral program that they haven't paid, you know, all these things. I don't want to talk trash, but it's like at some point, if we're criticizing the rest of the entire crypto space, we need to be honest about, you know, getting our own home in order if we look at it that way. But you know, then I'm going to eat my words too, because I think Staker app might end up qualifying people perhaps for the Gnosis safe airdrop. So, hey, you know, at the end of the day, I think we win either way. And it's not the end of the world for you to learn, like Johnny and I have, how to do a claim through a Staker app. But it's like, why isn't a company that's like, you know, doing so much for the Hex space, why aren't they allowing people to get their free money? That's well, like weird.
This does teach us how to go through the back end of things too. So if there is a problem, you know that you can access those funds. Before going through this process, you know, I felt more weary of Staker because I don't know where my money is.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know how to access it. It's different. It's very different than trying to access, you know, just a basic MetaMask wallet or Trust wallet. It's very different. The Gnosis Safe is technology, but looking at how difficult and convoluted the Gnosis Safe is, I understand why it took them a year to get as far as they did with Staker to begin with, because they had to simplify that on the front end. What they've got, they've had to simplify that on the front end with all this stuff that we're messing with on the back end here and having trouble with. So, I mean, there are definitely improvements that can be made, and definitely things to address. But you know, I guess
what can you do? You know, you just you know, advise people to use MetaMask, and you know, don't give away your seed words.
Very technical for super functional folks. Thank you for acknowledgement.
Melv Tony, what's up? Reminding us that Hex right now is at 12.7 cents. Shout out to you.
The one thing is if you're going to do something that is simplified. It needs to be just that, and it needs to do it needs to be able to do all the things that people wanted to do, because you are going to have those people going, well, now I'm missing out on this and I'm missing out on that. I don't know how to do it. And these people are not technical, and they could be putting their seed words in wrong places trying to follow along with what we're doing, right? So
dude,
yeah,
you want to see something really cool? Speaking of making stuff easy, I'm gonna go to tshare.app. I haven't done this because I made things very easy. Okay. And oh shoot, it's all right. I need to share my whole screen, but the problem is my entire screen is like a giant screen that's like this big. So it might be hard to see, but it's the only way to get it's the only way to get MetaMask to really, for you guys to be able to see it. So I was doing a tutorial earlier today about claiming Pulse Dogecoin, and even though my audio instructions are perfect, I read everything on the screen, walked people through it. I forgot to add the screen because I added this. I had to double add the screen, and so
I've done that on Twitch a couple times where I would be like covering videos and then I'd be sharing it and they'd be watching me the whole time and I'm watching the screen and basically telling them what's happening and missing the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
But I wasn't geared to stream anyway. I wasn't meant to do this. I'm just here.
So it's this part of the screen right here, kind of in the middle. And so if I hit next here, because it's asking to read only to connect with MetaMask. So all it can do is, this is the front end that Future Us and I made, and hundreds of people have used it, maybe thousands. It can see your address, your account balance, your activity, and suggest transactions to approve. That's the same permissions that you're giving to Pulse Dogecoin, by the way, but this is tshare.app. So I hit connect, and then there's a game you can play, and you can tap there. And then it's like a 10-second game. So you'll stop asking, what is Hex? What are T-shares? What is money? It's like when you send this to like a brand new onboard, they're going to be like, what's up with the claw game? And you'll be like, I don't know, Maddie's weird. And then you won't like give them information overload. And then they pick up a small, a medium or large size heart, which corresponds to the amount of compound interest that you get. So it's a super simplified choice. Instead of saying, how long do you want to stake and how much do you want to stake? And let me scare you away with numbers. You're just saying, which heart do you want? Small, medium, or large? And then that corresponds to making the choice of a 5, 10, or 15-year stake. So I can say, keep prize. And then what it's going to do, this website that if you do it on your phone, it's even slicker. And if you don't have MetaMask, it'll take you to download MetaMask right when you go to the website. So you don't even have to give somebody any instructions other than, hey, go to tshare.app. And then you have to make sure they don't go to the app store. So maybe it'd be better to tell them to go to tshare.io. But I think we're going to rebrand anyway to something easier yet. But look, it can see that I already have ETH. That's cool. So it does that automatically. And it also, allows me to, it can also see that I don't have Hex. And because it can see that I don't have Hex in my wallet, it has a button here that'll take me to ethhex.com. And that's where I can do a decentralized trade. And so I just, I have to connect wallet to Uniswap here. And that goes like this. And then
is that going to work on Pulse? Because that's what screwed the adoption of this thing, is the fact that Ethereum gas fees were so dumb that a person couldn't just buy $100 worth.
Yeah, the Ethereum fees have gone down low enough at times where it was only $20 to do a swap. But in this
still,
case,
Maddie, if you had to pay $20 every time you got money out of the ATM,
I paid a 45% fee to buy my first ETH, and I paid $20 on a $13 ETH. So I don't want to hear that people aren't buying Hex now at 13 cents because it's a $20 fee. If you buy $100 worth, or if you buy, so
But
you have
they
to buy
aren't
100. You
because
couldn't buy $20
I'm
like
not
I did.
talking
You
about
have to.
people in the system, Maddie. I'm talking about new people.
I'm talking about new people too. If I tell people you can put $200 into Hex, and that could turn out very well for somebody.
It could, but again, starting at a negative 20% when you drive off the lot sucks. And if it dips,
look here, a $12 fee. So I'm gonna do it right now. Okay, I'm gonna do a swap. I'm gonna pay the fee. $26. All right, that sucks, but I'm gonna do it. All right. This is less. I'm doing an $80 transaction, 85 under $100, and I'm only gonna get $60 worth of Hex. So, I can add Hex to MetaMask. That's cool. I would like to do that. And then this is it's gonna be pending and stuff. I can view it on the Explorer. Might take a little while. There it goes. It's done. So now I just have to go back, and I go back to T-Share app, and it can see that I got Hex. It can see that I have enough gas to start a stake, and I can hit this button right here, and it pops up, and boom, I'm staking. That easy, right? So that's how easy it is to go from not having a wallet to having T-shares staked. And it also, T-share.app would have known if I didn't have MetaMask, but it would have known if I didn't have any ETH, and it would have taken me inside the app to buy some ETH. You can buy about $700 worth through MetaMask, and sometimes your bank will deny it, and then you just have to go in and figure out how they want you to confirm the transaction through your bank, and then it'll go through and allow you to buy the ETH. So this is still an exceptionally cool tool that not many people know about, that allows you to buy and stake Hex.
Well, I wasn't saying anything bad about that. I was just saying the Ethereum fees kept it from being adopted as much as it probably would have been utilized.
Totally.
If they didn't go up.
100%.
Now we've got a little trolley in the chat here. Hex Pulse. No, we do not pay Bozo the Clown to talk about our financial product. We don't need Bozo the Clown.
Who's Bozo the Clown?
Financial product. Well, they're talking about, you need to pay up the influencers. No, we don't. We are the influencers. We are going to be the ones standing when they're all cowering after everybody's pissed off at them with their pitchforks and torches, ready to burn their ass once the bull market's completely over and we go into the next bear. Because that's what they do. They run and hide like little bitches, and then they come out and they act like everything's all right in the next bull market, and then they point their finger and say, yeah, it's going up. See, I told you so, because everything goes up. What we need to do is we need to educate people that this is the game that they're playing. We do not need to fund them. We do not need to encourage negative behavior. We do not need them. We need to teach people that there is a new and better way to do things, and that haven't been under their influence yet, or haven't gone down the wrong path. As far as the rest of the crypto space goes and follows where they need to follow. They chase every pump there is. The price moves and they're there. It doesn't matter whether they like the coin or not. That's really how this kind of goes. Solana and Matic had to freeze accounts. Solana goes down all the damn time. And you guys put way too much stock and thinking that anybody knows who any of these influencers are. They don't.
Yeah. Exactly. And
nobody knows who they are.
If people want to take their own money, if they want to take their own money and pay these people, then go for it. And if not, then don't tell other people what to do with their money.
It's silly. It's just so silly. We don't need them. What we need is time. You got that Bitcoin chart. You got that chart, Maddie.
I do. Yeah, I got it queued up.
Pull that up.
I got it queued up. Let me just say, Johnny, really, really quick. So T-share.app pulls through, so you can check on the actual go.hex.com/stake, and you can see that it's a real stake that's pending. Nothing, no funny business. And then if you go to go.tshare.app, then it'll allow you to do a stake with any amount of hex for any duration, and not just the single 5, 10, or 15-year option. And also, it will give you more information about your stakes than Staker app even does. So it'll tell you all the math on early end staking. It'll show you a more detailed amount of how much interest you're getting each day, and how much the account's worth in hex terms and that sort of stuff. So very cool tools here. Check it out. Even if you don't need even if you don't need to be treated like a new person who doesn't know what they're doing, which like everybody needs to start learning. But even if you've been around a while, you can go to go.tshare.app, and that will give you more information. Now, Johnny is speaking about the coolest chart ever, and I've got it here.
No, it's the table one. You know what I'm talking about? The table one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Do you have it on Twitter maybe?
Hold on. Would it be under slides? Your computer? Do I have to upload a file? Hold on. Pictures. Damn it.
Yeah, but the idea of paying influencers, there have been a lot of hexicans over the years that got frustrated, and they were like, oh, why doesn't Richard just pay the shills? And guess what? Richard is patient. Richard doesn't waste money. Richard is only spending $3 million on developing Pulse Chain, which is going to be the biggest flex ever, because it's going to be a multi-$100 billion chain. And but he attracts the type of talent that you really can't buy. If somebody else had $3 million, they couldn't buy the kind of quality devs that he can, and that sort of stuff. So
Ivan Attack's not going on Bloomberg.
Huh.
How about that, guys? How you like that one?
Yeah. Organic is way better in the end, because otherwise you're just promoting things that are lying to you, and pay to play that's not how you make new whales. That's not how you give the little guy the biggest opportunity now.
So what it was is it's the Bitcoin bar chart where Wales used it the other night, which it shows you that Bitcoin started at 0.003 year one, and it ended at 30 cents year one. And then in year two, it was at 30 cents. And in the year two, it was $4.72. And you got to keep in mind that Bitcoin did not have, when they had a convention, they were lucky if 5 people showed up. The people that were representing Bitcoin were the most antisocial individuals you have ever seen on God's green earth, that just crawled out of their basement to go, Bitcoin! All right. They were not these powerful people that you see now that are treating Bitcoin like it's some kind of achievement or a rich man's vanity collectible. Okay. That's not what you saw in Bitcoin back in the days. Okay. 2 years in, we have millionaires with power and influence in the space. Okay. And in our world, in the real world, you got to understand that crypto space is still a little bitty tiny space, and it's being wrecked. The adoption is being wrecked by these influencers. We don't want them to be right. We don't want them to have an aha moment where they look good for once. We want them to continue to suck so they can become obsolete, so they can be replaced with people that want to teach people good habits instead of shilling them Bybit links and coins that are going to wreck them. We want people coming into the crypto space to have a good experience. What happens when we are listed correctly on a coin market cap site? We go, oh, we're listed on a good coin market cap site. Everybody go. And then what do? They change the rules. right? We want to keep things under our control. We don't want to trust these other people that they're going to do what they say they're going to do. And we don't want to direct people to them just because they're talking about our coin in a positive way so that they can be exposed to all the other garbage that's out there. So there you go. Take a look. This is the chart right here. Okay. This can very much happen again. This can happen again. And I don't remember Bitcoin. Oh, max price. So the difference on this chart is this is the max price, not the closing price. But you can see the progression. Let me explain a little something to you. You want to know about those Furus? You know where they were born? Those Furus were born between the year of 2016 and 2017. They were nobody. You know what Carl the Moon was in 2015? He was a cashier at a grocery store. Do you know what M&M Crypto was in 2014? He was a taxi car driver. These people that you're watching, that you think that we need to pay $20,000 to talk positively about our coin, have absolutely no skills whatsoever. They made some very right choices, and they did very well for themselves. That's great. I'm glad they're rich and successful today. But what I don't like is that they are the toll keepers of the space. We are depending on cashiers and taxi car drivers on the dependence of our brand new financial product. I don't think so. All right.
Yeah, and I mean, BitBoy only had 1,000 followers for like multiple years. I think he's talked about. And so here on the screen, if you're just listening audio only, the price of Bitcoin, the minimum price that it sold for in 2010, 12 years ago, was about a penny, and the maximum price that year was 50 cents. And then if we go down each year and look at the price, the minimum price that Bitcoin traded at, the all-time low for the year was 2011, 30 cents. Then it went 2012, $3.90, then $13.20, then $91, then $157 in 2015, 2016, $350, 2017, $739, 2018, over $3,000, 2019, still over $3,000. And notice, as I was reading those numbers, I like went from rounding to the dollar amount, to the $10 amount, and finally the $100 amount. So I'm literally like, you know, back when you could buy Bitcoin for a penny, and now 10 or 12 years later, like we have to.
Does anybody count a penny anymore? No, and nobody can count a penny anymore in Hex either. And I want to bring your attention to that 2016 line. If you were in 2016 and you were a Bitcoin maximalist, and you said Bitcoin was going to $100,000 in 2016, they would have locked your ass up. They would have locked you up. They said, this guy's a loony. That's what they would have said. You know why? Because they did not conceive of those prices. You understand? People that sold their Bitcoin at 30 cents did not conceive the price of $31.90. People that sold their Bitcoin at $3.90 or $13 or $91, $157, $3,000, whatever, they never in their wildest dreams imagined a $70,000 Bitcoin. It was unheard of. It was unconceivable. This only started in 2017. And that hype, that people saying that it was going up to $100,000 is partially why it went up to those levels, because people started to believe. But it took them 7 damn years to even start to really, truly believe. You got to understand that. We are 2 years old. Bitcoin conferences at 2 years old, we're lucky if 5 people showed up. Maddie just had a convention where we had 500 to 600 people. And that's only counting the ticket sales. That's not actually the people that showed up. And you never got a picture of everybody that was there because everybody was on different floors and different rooms and at different events all over Las Vegas going on. So you still do not get the idea, the size and the scope of what we've achieved in the past 2 years. It's insane. Okay. People were not driving Lamborghinis from their Bitcoin profits in 2011. All right. They are in Hex. So you need to understand that we have a blueprint here of what has happened with absolutely the maximum amount of resistance anybody could possibly endure from a space that is supposedly all about innovation, when in all actuality, they're not. That's what I mean. Look at these people. Does this look like these people are miserable? Don't they look just horribly miserable, sitting on their beautiful vehicles, having a
It's
good
a
old
little
time,
grainy, but I can
thousands of
still
dollars
tell
hanging out in Las
the
Vegas?
yeah, I can still tell the body language of people. These are happy people here.
I mean, and this is a fraction of the people that were actually there.
Yeah.
Just a fraction of the people that were actually there. Go look up Bitcoin 2011 conferences, guys. Look at good old Tone Vase and his buddy Alex, the ones that got destroyed by Richard Hart, sitting at their piss poor table for their little Bitcoin event that they had when they probably had maybe 10 people in the crowd. They look pretty pathetic trying to be, exclusive and elite, sitting there all by themselves at their little shitty table. Is that what you want to be? Not me. Where's the appeal? Why do I want to pay those guys?
Here's the updated list of how much you can pay an influencer.
And this is out there, guys. People are finally coming to the conclusion. Who's the ones putting this in front of people's faces? We want you to see that opinions that can be purchased can be negative opinions or positive opinions. Okay? I'm sure a lot of negative opinions were purchased to stifle Hex, because Hex is not just a coin. It is changing people's perception. It is changing the business model. It is changing the space of cryptocurrency. And ETH fees raised is changing what people were able to do. It stifled innovation. It kept the exchanges from being used. It kept people from using Hex as it was intended to do. And now we have Pulse Chain coming out. And when Pulse Chain comes out, when it comes out, and it will come out, it's going to change how all of this space is done. Horse and Buggy didn't like it when the automobile came out, guys. They didn't. They did everything in their power to stop the automobile. Well, there's a lot of automobiles on the road today. Nobody stopped it now, did they? You know how severe? You want to talk about gatekeeping? You want to talk about the history of gatekeeping? We talk about the history of gatekeeping. You understand that they were limited to like 15 miles an hour and you had to hire 2 flagmen to walk out in front of your car? That's the kind of laws that were being passed in order to restrict innovation back then. Amazing, right? You know what? When the Wright brothers first decided they wanted to fly their plane, they got into bar fights with the village idiots that said it would never happen. Who's laughing now? How many planes are in the air? See, here's the thing. When a person says it can't be done, that shows their limitations, because it can be done. It always has been done. There is always some new innovation that takes place of the old. See, where we have an advantage is the other people in the space, they don't want to compete. They want to sit on a bench and do nothing. It is not hard to win a race when you're the only one that wants to run and everybody else just wants to sit on the bench and just let things go. And that's what the crypto space is doing. They're comfortable. They're comfortable on that bench. They're profiting from things just the way that they are, and they don't want them to change. But they will change, whether they want them to or not, because they're no longer the majority. They're the minority. How many influencers are on this list? 80? 100? Guess what, guys? How many Hex influencers do you think there are right now? 2 years in.
I know that there's more than, I mean, there's probably in between 100 and 150 because
There you
we
go.
had over half, we had like over 80 people participate in the online conference.
80 people on the online convention. 80 new personalities that are talking about the way things are going to be. What do you think is going to happen in another 2-3 years? They're becoming outnumbered. They're becoming obsolete. It's happening right in front of you. Just everybody wants a paycheck now because they live in this world where everything happens instantaneously. It doesn't. It never has. It never will happen instantly. You got to lose the lottery mentality and invest in your future. This is the reason we're in Hex, is because this is our future. We're not here for penny gains. Okay? We're here to change how things are fundamentally done. You are part of history right now. You are like the Wright brothers that got laughed at until you were able to prove them wrong. You know? We expect the mocking. You know why? Because talent reaches levels that others can't reach, but genius reaches levels that others can't see. Try to see. Try to see where we are. You know?
Real. For real.
Yeah, I mean, look at all these people.
I'm not saying it's worth it, but dude, Lindsay Lohan, man, she's on the list. So is Senator Williams. Like, come on, Senator Williams. Like, it's a bad look.
Why? That's what politicians do. That's totally what politicians do. But see, look, guys, this is the same business model. The problem with crypto space is it might be the same business model, and they are okay with justifying and saying it's okay to get paid for their sponsorships, but you're not sponsoring a bottle of pop, okay? You're talking about directing people into things that can financially wreck them. You know? That is way worse. And not only that, not only do they direct you in the things that are financially going to wreck you, they hide the things that are going to actually get you out of the hole. And why do they do that? To preserve their own income. Because if something is way better than what they have to offer, they've got nothing left to offer you. This is the pathway to becoming obsolete. That's what it is. This is their path to becoming obsolete. Their arrogance, right? Their hate, their resentment, the change comes whether you like it or not. We are constantly evolving. We are constantly improving technology. Change is going to come whether you like it or not. You're either on board the new technology or you become blockbustered. You become obsolete. People stop listening to these people in a bear market because they look like geniuses in a bull market. When you can literally throw a dart at the board, it is no different than them going outside, seeing that it's raining, coming back in the door, and the person hasn't seen outside yet, and they go, "Oh yeah, it's going to rain today," and then open up the door and go, "Look, see, I was right." That's all they're doing. It's misdirection. They know a little bit more information than the average person does, and they're utilizing that to capitalize on it.
And that's the amazing thing is like, what's going to happen here is that instead of paying influencers, people are going to pay themselves by participating in the airdrop. And, I've been talking about paying your future self and the possibility of developing different behavior change models based on paying yourself. And I think that is the future of finance, is being able to create value from nothing and have it hold, that people's savings, when people save in the dollar, it's valuable to some extent. But when people save in crypto, we've seen Bitcoin appreciate in value in the past 12 years. And something that's designed better will appreciate faster. People will show up to get their free money, and they're going to be super thankful to Richard Hart and to all the people who are out here spitting the truth like Johnny and I are.
The thing is that it did take 7 years. It took 7 years for Bitcoin to catch on. I know. I made the same arguments against Bitcoin back in the day that, it has no value. Where's the value come from? And then I got educated and I realized that, what? The government generates money out of nowhere. The government doesn't actually have the money that it says it does. It's just unit of account. They don't run the money printer. The printer doesn't print any money. It would take 900 years to print the money that's in circulation right now in actual physical bills. 900 years. Okay? 900 years. Think about that. It used to be like 320 years, but since they added 2/3 more money that doesn't exist, it's going to take them a little longer. They're going to need a lot more printing press. So, when you realize that money is an abstract thing that is assigned to us, and that we compete and we fight over it, and people get killed over the money that's in their pocket because people value money more than human life. It's sad. They have us believing all these things that are just so wrong. When you create scarcity to the point where, why can't everybody participate? Why is it the government gets to decide who gets the money and who doesn't? Why is it that we have to take our money and we have to pay it back to them when they could just print as much as they want? They don't really need our money now, do they? It's just enough to keep us down and keep keeping us down. If we make it, they take it. Why? Because that keeps us at a lower level. That keeps us from succeeding. They have us trained that we have to give our money to somebody else in order to make profit. Like, we can't do it ourselves. No, we have to be able to give it to some other party that has to do some kind of magic trick to make more money, because we're not able or capable of doing that ourselves. Why? We're producing it the same way they do. It's just distributed more fair with rules. There's nothing that prevents the government from printing another $1 trillion tomorrow. Nothing. There's no code. There's no boundaries. There's no locked set of rules. Nothing prevents them from doing that. But Hex has got a locked consensus code that cannot be changed. Can Bitcoin's code be changed? They're like, oh, there's a 21 million cap. Yeah, first of all, in 120 years from now. Second of all, that's if the miners decide that they want to continue running the network only on the cost of the fees, since they will no longer be incentivized by getting those block rewards of those new tokens. But they don't want to talk about that. And since it's 120 years out, they don't need to talk about it. They just need to focus on the now. See, what we're building is going to be here in the future. And it's not hard when nobody really wants to compete. They don't want to compete. They don't want to build anything usable. They just want to keep profiting from the system because it works for them as it is. It's meet the new boss, same as the old boss. You've got this crypto space that has become just as corrupt as our fiat system. The only difference is they've got new players in power, and they're fighting to preserve that. That's all. They don't want to make changes. They're not here to save the world. They're here to fill their pockets. They don't want to teach and educate people. They only want you to know enough to buy their product. That's what they want you to know. They don't want you to program. They don't want you to design. They don't want you to see innovation. They don't want any more growth, because if it stays small, it's easier to control. More adoption, it gets bigger. It is harder to control as things get bigger. Why? Because not everybody's going to listen to you. That's why. I've got maybe 5,000 followers on Twitter. That means there's 85,000 stakers that don't give a rat's ass about what I got to say. Okay? Maybe some of the things I say will reach them, and maybe they'll follow me later. It's possible. But the point is, that's what happens. Things grow exponentially. You lose control. If you do not have a product that can speak for itself and do what it's supposed to do, then people are going to stop listening to you. Inevitably, they're going to stop listening to you. The amount of engagement that Hexicans get on Twitter, the likes, the interaction, the engagement, dwarfs even the people with 1 million followers.
Correct.
It dwarfs it. You got to understand that. We are more engaged. People are listening to what we have to say. We are going up in the algorithms, but it doesn't happen in a year. It doesn't happen in 2 years. It took Bitcoin 7 years. And the people that sold their Bitcoin in the first 7 years regret it gratefully. Okay? Now, if you eliminate the concept of market cap, okay, because we know it's an unachievable number. We know that if everybody sells all at once of anything, the price goes down and you'll never be able to achieve total market value based on market cap. Okay, you eliminate that. You tell me why something that is designed to allow you to participate in the system forever, as long as you own some, you can always produce yield. Why that thing cannot do as well as 12-year-old technology, with the amount of visibility, with the amount of people speaking about it, with the new technology and the live streaming, where people watch streams more than they watch TV now. The news does not have the coverage that it used to because people don't even have cable, because they're using streaming services. You see, this is furthermore understanding how technology improves and people's habits change and people go where things are more easy and convenient. What we have to focus on is making it more easy and more convenient for people to get into crypto and less costly so that we don't have to justify over costs. What Ethereum doing is awful. Saying, well, if you can't afford it, you can't go on our network, so that's your problem. Yeah. Becoming elite and saying you have to have at least this much money to participate is exactly how you stifle adoption. You want to be inclusive. You want everybody to be able to purchase. You want everybody to have the option to participate. You want it as conveniently as humanly possible for those people to be able to participate so that you can grow. And once you grow, these people that are being the sandbags and holding it down for the sake of profit, they will become obsolete. People will forget them. They will. Take it, Maddie. I'm done.
That's right. Listen, I'm going on to some bigger channels, much bigger channels of people, and I'm not paying anything, okay? But what I will be doing is providing so much value that, you know, that's why people are having me on. I met people at the Bitcoin conference. I went to the Bitcoin conference not to suck middleman D, but to make friends with people who know what's up. And there were a lot of people that I met there who knew that, you know, Hex has been gate kept, that Pulse Chain is not going to be gate kept, and that they want some of these free coins on Pulse Chain. And so next week on Tuesday afternoon, I'm going to go on Mike the Investor's channel, and he's got like 60K or 80K subs or something, and we're going to do a special episode to raise awareness for Pulse Chain. And again, I'd like to emphasize, like, it doesn't cost anything because that's the level that we're operating at. That influencers, you know, Zuby's on this list. Richard didn't pay Zuby anything to do an interview with him and go on his channel. But for other people, it's costing $15,000 just to get 2 tweets and a retweet. Can you imagine?
Yeah, when you become popular, people will fly you places, you know? So,
right.
You know, it's the thing is, what people don't understand is this is marketing, okay? What they're doing is marketing. This works in every other thing. If they were selling you a bottle of pop, it would not be a big deal. The problem is they're selling you financial products, and that's where that hurts. And what they're doing is they're doing basic marketing techniques, and that is called brand awareness and name awareness, okay? The same reason that politicians stick the signs in the front yard, because you're driving by, and when you look at that ballot, even if you're not paying attention to politics, that name that you see the most is the one that you're going to click on. Okay. And that's what they're doing with this. And the reason the market cap sites do work is because they put those names in front of you on a list. So then you can check those out. You understand? So really, you are being sold on nothing more than a name when it comes to crypto. Bitcoin is a brand name. Okay. It's like selling you a Nike. Okay. You might be able to buy a perfectly good pair of shoes, but if you want your Nikes, you got to get your Nikes because that's the brand name. And that's what they do by utilizing this method called repetition. It's brainwashing technique. Repetition is used for brainwashing technique. Media was created to brainwash people. These influencers are literally doing that job by brainwashing people, giving you that name awareness so that that is the number that you click on, because after saying it so many times, they have you convinced that it's your idea that you click that button, and it's not.
Facts. Johnny, I just have to say, like, in the comments here, people are ranting and raving that they love your rants. So,
well, wait until I get on Bloomberg, because that's kind of pretty much where I'm going with it. Because
dude, I love it, man.
The crypto space epic. For what it is. I'm going to tell them how we're going to replace them, and people will hear me, and people will believe me, because this is just reality. It doesn't matter what your opinion is. Look, they can scream and cry about Hex, but you know what? Imagine they're sitting on the moon by themselves in a little glass box. Nobody hears them, guys. Their 1 million followers, nobody hears them. They aren't going to be on mainstream TV for long. They won't go on the show in a bear market, even if they were offered to. Okay? You got to understand that. You think because you hear them that everybody hears them. In fact, they are little quiet voices screaming in a little echo chamber. The real world does not care what any of these influencers on this list have to say. They don't. Because in the real world, you actually have to prove that you're marketable. You actually have to prove that you have a set of skills. You actually have to come through on what you promise and what you do. You know why these people are doing the job of the influencer that they are and getting paid for it? Because it's probably the only job on the face of God's green earth that they're actually qualified to do, which is read a script.
Spreading lies on the internet.
Read a script. That's it. Dude, you listen to their advertisements. They all say this. Oh, the team's good. Oh, they're going to do great things here. Oh, I've got really high confidence in this product. Oh, look at the website. It's all pretty. They've got a good team behind them. Okay, what's it do? I like how they threw that on us, right? What's Hex do? It's got no utility. Hex makes Hex. What's your coin do? Hello? Hex makes Hex. What does your coin do? Nothing. It's got a send and receive function. Oh, you mean I can send it back to you and lock it up your platform, and then you can decide to distribute new coins that you're minting out of thin air to me? And I may or may not be able to go back to that website one day, and that website may or may not be functioning. Or, oh, you've got admin keys on the backside of your coin, so pretty much if I'm making too much money, you can shut it off? Yeah, sell me that one. Sign me up for that one, because that's what their DeFi is. Why? Because they wanted you to have a bad experience with DeFi. They worked very, very hard on claiming that term, DeFi, because they did not want people to be exposed to actual decentralized finance, because if they were exposed to actual decentralized finance, nobody would buy their garbage. You understand that? Once people know that they can interact directly with the code without middlemen, they're not looking for somebody to be in control of their funds ever again. That's not what crypto was designed to do.
That's not what crypto was designed to do. And if we look at this list of paid influencers, I have a sneaking suspicion that I know what some of them spent this money on that they got for each shill tweet and each retweet. I know what they did with it. They sacrificed it for Pulse. And so that's how we're getting around the having to pay people problem. Ivan on Tech and BitBoy and all the biggest names out there, they are all known to have sacrificed for Pulse Chain. So they have skin in the game. They realized with Hex that they weren't going to get paid. They thought they could play chicken and wait for Richard to have to pay them or fail. Yeah. And he called their bluff. He didn't pay him. And then they paid him. Okay. Yeah. If you want, to talk about
run back on that real quick,
you have to pay Richard, not Richard pay you.
Yeah. Run that back real quick. Yes. They paid him after all of this fighting and bullshit. They paid him after all this. Don't give your money to that son of a bitch. He's a big fat bastard. I hate him. After all that, they paid him. Yeah. They had to do their sacrifice, so they paid him. How about that? And you know what? They are most likely, if they're paying attention to anything we have to say, they're gonna shill Pulse all on their own. Because they would be stupid not to. Because
of course
they are batting zero.
Yeah.
They are batting absolute zero. If they don't have one winner out of their box of bullshit, why would anybody listen to them? For God's sakes, they need one winner out of the shit that they show you.
Well,
suicide, not to shill Pulse.
They take money from scam projects that are dumping on your head, and they use it to buy the stuff that they like, that they know is not a scam, which is not the stuff that they're promoting. And then they circle back to their blue chips like Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff, promoting those only because that's what they're holding and accumulating. So, it's going to be really fun to see how many mainstream channels are going to try to pump the heck out of Pulse Chain, and they'll try to dump it as well. They'll try to take a 10x, but they're going to promote it before they dump it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They'll promote it before they bump it. So when they start talking about it, everybody wait for the dump and get your limit orders in. Wait for when they start promoting, get your limit orders in. And then once they're out, we can make them buy back in higher, and they can pay us twice.
That's right. They can pay us as many times as they want. But that's fun. That's a cool thing that we're noticing by looking at the facts, looking at the numbers, and exposing the furus,
Yeah.
And with good projects like this, we never have to turn into them.
No. And I'm just over it. I mean, it's frustrating. I get really angry when I see people with no skills, and I see even on TikTok. TikTok is filled up with people that, why in the hell would anybody listen to these people? Second of all, why the hell would anybody pay these people? It's like, wow. And I have a hard time believing that there's these 20-year-old millionaires, not so much anymore, because I know a few 20-year-old millionaires in Hex. But I mean, it's like you got, I'm not taking financial advice from a 20-year-old kid when I've been 30 years in business. It doesn't make any sense to me why people would think, oh, well, this kid's got things going on. He's smart. Do you remember being 20? God, I do. I remember being 20 real well. Didn't mean that my IQ's changed any bit, but my wisdom has greatly changed in the past, 25 years.
I mean, there's a psychological phenomenon where people back project their maturity onto their past self. But even so, like even when people do that, they still realize that they were much more naive when they were younger. And even if you're overestimating how experienced you were back then, it's like, I hear your point, and I also think it goes both ways. You know, I think like some people they hear the slang that 20-year-olds are using now, and they feel out of the loop, and so they want to catch up, and they want to put their money into something that they don't understand.
Well, I'm not being ageist here. I'm just saying, if you are not looking back every 5 years at your life and going, damn, that was dumb, you ain't learning, you know? And usually that's how that goes, right? You know,
Yeah.
you're learning a lot if you're looking back at your life and going, damn, that was dumb. You know, that's how you progress. That's part of growing. Your brain does not really fully mature until you're like 30. You know, it's not done developing. And when you're young, you are as smart as you've ever been at that point, right? So you feel like a genius when you're younger because that's as smart as you've ever been at that point in time. And you know,
and then you learn about XRP, and then you're the dumbest you've ever been.
I've got some really bright kids, and I go around with them. I'm like, who are you trying to outsmart here, kids? You know, it's really kind of fun. It's like, oh, you don't think I'm like 10 steps ahead of you? You know, it's like, good luck with that. And my youngest is really, really bright. She was studying things from a kid, from a child, from a baby. She was studying everything. She was one of those that just stared at everything on how everything works. And she's a little bit of a junior mad scientist. So that's kind of cool. It's fun to watch them develop. But cool. But you do realize, I feel young until I hang out with a bunch of 20-year-old models. And then I'm like so ready to get out of there because it's like, you guys, it's just a conversation. It's just like, I can't, man. It's like, it's like, there's so many things that you're just not putting together. And that's why older people tend to be cranky, because it's like, you've got this wisdom that you realize that everybody has to learn at their own pace. You cannot force all of your knowledge into them because they're not ready. They're not ready yet to accept it. You cannot teach a person anything until they're ready to accept the knowledge. And it's difficult, especially with smart people. It is difficult to get through to them because they have their experience, they have their intelligence, and it's very difficult for them to accept new information. You actually have to train yourself to challenge your own beliefs and see past your own personal bias in order to accept new information. And not everybody actually has that ability. Usually it takes something cataclysmic for them to rewire and see the error of their ways. It usually takes something cataclysmic. That's why, we talk about it. You are your struggle. Your struggle is what develops you, and some people have terrible struggles and other people have mild struggles, but your struggle defines you. And what we all mostly struggle for is we're trained to chase the damn dollar. You want to talk about history? You got to understand what a dollar means. You realize at one point in time, have you ever heard the phrase "not worth your weight in salt"? Have you ever heard that phrase? You know what that comes down to? Human beings were traded for salt, a spice. That was the value of a human life, that human life can be traded for salt. Well, in a way, we still do that. We put dollar values on ourselves. On ourselves, we put dollar values. How much dollars we own makes us feel like we are either acceptable or not. If you're judging yourself on your dollars, then you don't have much character.
You're more than your net worth, people.
You are more than your net worth. But we've got society tricked into believing that there's a dollar sign on each of our heads. That's the way we are wired to think, because they have us so ingrained. And that creation of scarcity by they give us some, but they take back more so that we're never getting ahead, that creation of that scarcity that they do there, that keeps us from ever getting to that goal where we're comfortable. Now we have enough of this dollar, we can start looking at things totally differently, right? And the people that are chasing the dollar and can never get enough, they never find what they're looking for. You know, there's that picture where that guy is chasing dollars until he walks off a cliff as he's aging. You don't want to be that person. Live. Don't be focused on that dollar. The dollar's great. It's a tool. It helps get things done. But in the end, you are more valuable than your network.
Absolutely. We got Freddie Quotes and Balliot Brand in the chat right now. Shout out to you guys, other Hex streamers.
Freddie, you back for more, man? I thought you had enough of me last night. See, this is the problem with me, right? Everyone says we need a stream with Wales and me and David and everybody else. Is like, the problem is nobody gets to freaking speak because I get on a roll and I can't shut up. I got adult ADD, you know, or ADHD.
It's all good. Yeah. Well, people really appreciate your rants. And so we're lucky when we can hear them. I think with you know, people being more than their bank accounts and everything, it's, you know, one of the things that is truly scarce is time. But the more that I learn about the longevity community and hook up with people there, I've started donating and volunteering some of my time and resources to Aubrey de Grey and the Sense Foundation and the Methuselah Foundation. I met face to face with them here in the past 5 weeks. Aubrey and the other founder of the Methuselah Foundation, and you know, we already have technology that can give people more time with their memories, at least with this sleep headband that I'm going to be founding a company for. And Johnny, it's funny. You know, because I'm very knowledgeable about all the airdrops and sacrifices and all these different mechanisms. But more importantly, just because I can do something doesn't mean that I think I should or that it's ethical. And so, for example, if I start manufacturing this medical product that Philips stopped making recently because they couldn't figure out how to get people to wear a headband on their head to know to measure EEG waves and know when to play slow wave sounds so that memories can be backed up more easily from the from the hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex, transferring between those two brain regions. You know, like they stopped making these. And for me, I would rather do a Kickstarter where people can get their money back if it doesn't happen, compared to doing a sacrifice where the incentives are all wrong. Would it be easier for me to just take people's money and then not have to do any work? I mean, on one hand, it would, but I don't think that would be the way to be successful. And it's certainly not setting a good example. And so when I think about the ethics of stuff, you know, people kind of know where I stand, and will I hopefully see through my own actions and, you know, just being honest as a broadcaster. People know that I'm claiming some things, but I'm not promoting tradable shares, and I'm not promoting sacrifices unless they're Richard Hart based. And for myself, I would rather have more accountability. I would rather do what I consider to be ethical than to sell out like all of these people who are, you know, selling out their influence. I think just the same, it'll be really easy for a lot of people in the Hex community who build influence and trust to try to cash in on that one way or another, even if it's not the historic way that people are selling tweets. But for me, it's important that we talk about this. That's part of what ethics is based on, is, you know, you talk about something and you get people's opinions on it, and you make the decision that's right for you.
The thing with the, where I was talking about chasing the dollars, they have us so brainwashed that the dollar is everything. Not only is a human life not worth, is worth, X amount of dollars. We've got the fact that what do they have us give up for it? What's a job? A job is you give up your time. Your time is your most precious commodity. It is the most precious thing that you have. It's limited. And it's the only thing that you can give people, to give people your time is giving them everything,
Yes.
And, I'm kind of guilty of this fact where I don't want to give up all my time. I don't want to stream every night.
Good for
I don't
you.
want to
Good
do
for
this.
you.
I want my time because I'm halfway through. I'm dead.
Oh, yeah.
Halfway dead, So it's like I want to keep my time to myself, and I don't want to have to trade my time for dollars. So, it's obviously we need to trade a certain amount of our time for dollars, but what I'm saying is think about that. They have us so brainwashed that this abstract thing, we're the only animals in the world that use money, right?
That we know of.
This is a human
Other
construct.
than aliens.
We're the only animals, on this world. On this world. I don't think are we going to start talking about undersea aliens and conspiracy theories? But my point is, we have made this human construct for the purpose of control. Taxes are for the purpose of control. We give people power and powerful positions, but what are they really? They're just other people. They're no different than you and me, just we give them the authority that they have, right? But are they different? Are celebrities really any different either when you think about it? They're not. They're just people, Why is one person's life more valuable than another? Well, I guess that requires on how useful they are to society, not how much money they have in the bank. Because there are a lot of rich people that are absolutely useless. And if they weren't rich, they wouldn't have anything. They wouldn't have anything.
Nothing.
What do they really have to offer? Are you really going to judge a person? It's like I laughed at watching that interview where Richard was talking to whatever the guy's name was, and he's like, I respect Michael Saylor because he has a lot of money. He has more money than anybody else. Okay, I've got more masks than any of you. I've got more makeup and contact lenses and latex than any of you. Does that make me a better person than you? Because I have more of a thing than you do? Because I happen to have that thing, does that make me a better person? No. And that's just as silly as the same argument was saying that Michael Saylor is this better person because he has more money.
Yeah, Richard Hart has helped more people quit smoking and drinking and gambling and playing video games where you get sucked in and lose all your value. Yeah.
He spent his time, the most precious gift he has, the most precious commodity he has, to help others. And people are like, oh, well, he made himself rich. Look, once you have enough money, it's just a zero in your bank account. That's what they don't grasp, because these people that say, oh, he's just trying to make money, they're still chasing the dollar. They're not looking at it from a point of abundance. They don't realize what wealth really is. They just know that they want it, and they're mad that somebody else has it and they don't. And they're spending all this time being spiteful when they should be spending that time being creative. But here's the thing, right? When you're in a point of abundance and you have enough of one thing, whether it's money, whether it's masks, whether it's whatever, it's a thing, okay? If you have enough of that thing, you don't need any more. You don't. Richard has more money than he will ever spend in his lifetime. He doesn't have a kid. He doesn't have a wife. He stays in the same place. Okay? He doesn't have to worry about money. All right? He doesn't have any bad habits other than women. Now, that might be a bad habit, but he doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs. He's got to have some way to spend his damn money. He raised over $2 billion. Do you realize how much $2 billion is? I don't think people do. What that means is for the next 40 years of his life, he can spend $1 million a week for the next 40 years and never run out of money, assuming that he's not got it somewhere else making interest. Okay? Just on the sacrifices alone. We're not talking about the 50 Bitcoin block that he didn't sell. He might have sold some of it at this last top, but I know damn well he didn't sell at $20,000 because he was pissed at himself and he was crying to Ivan on Tech, and because he was mad at himself because he knew it was the top. He called the top, but he still didn't sell. So I know he was still holding then.
Facts.
Watch that video. He was mad at himself. He said, and he called himself stupid.
Just look up Richard Hart crying.
Mm-hmm. And people are like, oh, because you wrecked yourself. No, he was upset because he knew. He knew and he didn't act. Okay? You want to pull that up? He knew and he didn't act. No sound. No sound.
You can't hear the sound at all?
No.
I'm going to have to take this off and then re-add it.
Redo it and send it back up. And people don't pay too much attention to this. They're like, yeah, Richard, we saw you crying. You got totally wrecked. No, he wasn't wrecked. He didn't take advantage
the title's
of the opportunity.
wrong.
Yeah, he didn't take advantage of the opportunity that he knew. He called the top. He knew it was time to sell, but he held anyway. Why? Because he didn't need the money. He didn't need the money then. That's why he didn't sell.
Yeah, and because he was witnessing everybody else turn into idiots around him, and that sucked too. Here, let's hear it.
So have you sold all your Bitcoin then?
Unfortunately, I haven't, because I'm stupid.
So Ivan on Tech said, have you sold all your Bitcoin then? And he said, unfortunately, no, I haven't.
One more time. Run it back.
I'm a fucking idiot.
So have you sold all your Bitcoin then?
Unfortunately, I haven't, because I'm stupid. I'm a fucking idiot. So I've lost a lot of money because in my whole life from 2011 till now, I just found it very hard to part with these things. Like I ain't gonna say I want to cry, but
when he says he lost a lot of money, that is mistranslated. Like, what he's saying is he lost the opportunity to make a lot
to cash out
of money. He lost the opportunity to cash out. And people misinterpret this, and they're saying that he lost money betting and trading and stuff.
No, paper value.
What he said is I lost a lot of money, and because he has a habit of holding on to things longer than he should.
Bitcoin. Those are the things. Bitcoin.
One more time. I have a habit of holding on longer than I should.
With these things. Like I ain't gonna say, because in my whole life from 2011 till now, I just found it very hard to part with these things. Like I ain't gonna say I want to cry, but this has been very bad, right? Like I really liked Bitcoin, and it's not cool. I don't want to see it die. So you just wait 2 years.
But okay, that became very sad for Bitcoin very, very quickly.
And I mean, how can you mistranslate that?
Because
you can mistranslate that if you're a stooge or if you're trying to spin your narrative. But the fact is, Richard has a habit of sticking with things, very dedicated to the paths that he chooses. He is how do you think he feels about something that he stuck his face on? He didn't create Bitcoin. He ain't Satoshi. Okay? How do you think he feels about something that is his name, his pride, his creation, his baby? He's holding on to something that he had no involvement in whatsoever. other than the fact that he wanted it to succeed, and he was determined for it to succeed, that he cost himself a lot of money by not cashing out, by not dumping, by not behaving in the way that these wrecked ass plebs say that he would. Soak it in.
That's right. Wow is right. So yeah, people get the wrong idea. They look at the title, it says Richard Hart crying after losing his Bitcoins.
He did not lose a Bitcoin. He did
didn't
not
lose.
sell a damn Bitcoin. That was the problem. He lost that opportunity, and he was mad at himself because he called the top. He knew it was capping out. He didn't want to let go, and he held on, and that's why I said, now I got to wait another 2 years. Why? Because he still had them.
And he was right.
And he was right.
Yeah.
And I guarantee he took some out at that top, that 65 top and that 69 top.
How is this uploaded by
there.
somebody and they got 9,000 views and they have 3 subscribers?
Good question, huh? Bots?
No, I mean, I think, I don't know. It says 3 subscribers.
Oh, that guy's got 3 subscribers? Because that's the guy that listed it?
Yeah. This video. That's weird. But I, yeah, I mean, so a lot of people saw this clip, but they didn't
translate it properly.
Yeah. Yeah. They didn't believe it. They didn't like it. They didn't, it's like,
and if you tell somebody,
that's the worst ratio I've ever seen ever on YouTube on anything.
But it's the framing of context, right? If you tell people what they're going to see before they see it, they look at it with the bias. So if you frame it in such a way of, oh yeah, Richard lost this thing, people will read the headlines, but not the chapters, right? They'll be like, oh yeah, look, there the video's there. They'll read the headline and they won't even watch the video. And if they do watch the video, they'll watch it from a context of bias. They're going to watch it from the perspective of what they were told was going to be in the video. And then they totally miss the point because they're not looking at it subjectively. Usually they're motivated to go watch these things. Why? Because they want to see successful people fail. Why? Because it makes them feel better about their failures, right? So, look, you can get a lot of views by showing people kicking themselves in the nuts, right? Doesn't mean people want to kick themselves in the nuts. It just means that it gets their attention, So you can't really judge train wrecks like some of these influencers by their user count because, hey, Kardashians are popular. Reality TV got real popular. I think it's what destroyed cable TV personally, but people like watching train wrecks. They do. They can't look away. America's Funniest Home Videos. Why did it do so well? Why did America's Funny Home Videos was like the most watched show ever, and all it was other people suffering. In Germany, they call that Schadenfreude or something like that, right? People enjoy, it makes them feel better that others are suffering. It's awful. You shouldn't. And my wife's terrible. She loves to watch that wipeout thing. That wipeout where these people just get killed, and she'll run it back and watch them get clubbed over and over again. I'm like, you are an evil woman. You are an evil, evil, evil woman. I love you, but you're an evil, evil woman.
Yeah. So here we are in famous history, making, setting the record straight. So, Johnny
and I think it's pretty clear once somebody clears it up and you stop it a couple times and you listen to it without that framing that they're trying to frame, you understand that he was mad that he missed out the opportunity and didn't sell. And he's mad at himself. Why? And what does this show you about Richard? This shows you this is one devoted son of a gun.
That's right.
One seriously devoted son of a gun that stands up for his beliefs and holds on, even knowing that it's costing him, even though it makes him angry with himself. He is one devoted son of a gun. What do you think he's going to do with the things that he creates under his name?
Hold them, buy them, treat them very nicely.
And what do you think he has now the financial ability to make sure that he does exactly what he says he's going to do, which is create the highest performing assets ever known to mankind. And he can do it. And he will do it. And where is Satoshi? He was nowhere around when Bitcoin was going up, up, up. Now, was he? Okay. Who was putting in the time to pump Bitcoin? This guy.
This guy.
He is partially responsible for those massive Bitcoin gains that people got, because he was the one standing up for it and putting himself out there on the line for something that he did not even create.
It's working out pretty well for us promoting Hex, even though we didn't create it.
But again, why? Because this man has the courage and conviction to actually do something, to actually make change happen. And we can.
He's the one Bitcoin billionaire that isn't, out there harming people.
Yeah. When did Richard tell you sell everything? Buy Hex. He never told you that.
Mm-hmm.
He told Crypto Crow that, but that would just be saving his ass. But I mean, he isn't running around there telling you mortgage your house, sell everything, blah, 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 buy Hex. No. But the point being is everybody else wants you to buy their bags too. That's all what the space is. It's what it is. But I'll tell you what, something that's 13 cents sure has a shitload of room to grow versus something that's $40,000, guys. The average person's got a long way to go for prices to normalize at different levels and still be affordable for your average person to own a whole unit.
Yeah. I'm going to be mad when Hex is over $200.
Yeah, because then it gets a little difficult.
It'll be like Milla Hex.
Milla Hex. Well, Maddie, that's 2.5 hours.
Can you buy with your $20?
We did 2.5 hours of major rants, or at least
it's good stuff, man. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate the therapy.
This is your therapy? I thought this was my therapy. See, Maddie's my therapist. I come on and I rant and I rave. I need to be sitting on a couch. Maybe that's why I need my background here. I need a couch, and I'm like, let me go vent my stress here to Maddie and get my therapy in.
That's right. Yeah.
Because we had that long talk when you were up here where we were talking about the struggle being part of your existence. That setting problems in front of yourself. Look, if a person, it's like you'll see people that turn to vices and start doing bad behaviors. Why? Because if you get to a point where you're comfortable, you will literally self-sabotage yourself. You will start finding things that are more risky. You start doing things that you wouldn't normally do because you're trying to add struggle and conflict. Your schedule's tight. Okay, fine. Let's add 5 more appointments onto it. It's those kind of behaviors that you do because you don't realize all of us are addicted to certain struggles. We think about retire. You know what happens when people retire? A lot of times when people retire, they just die because they lose their sense of purpose. They lose their sense of motivation. Never in 1,000 years did I think that I would be reaching out and worrying about other people's money and talking to them about cryptocurrency. This was never the direction I intended to go. I just wanted to be a creative guy, and I just wanted to build things and solve problems. But I ran into this epic problem of seeing things very clearly and then realizing that there were a lot of people that weren't seeing it. And then I saw the fact that they were being lied to, and they're still being lied to this day by people that are being paid to lie to them. And it doesn't feel right for other people not to have the same opportunities that I do. I mean, if you see somebody drowning and you're standing on a pier and right next to you is a life preserver, do you walk away or do you try to throw them the life preserver, right? You see somebody struggling, they might slap your hand away, but you're still going to try your best to reach out to them. And if they don't take your hand, that's on them. That's not on you. But you at least got some kind of obligation to make an effort to do it. Because if not, I mean, you're kind of guilty by just standing by and doing nothing. So I feel until this shit gets straightened out, you know, and people aren't being constantly lied to and manipulated, and that's just the world, though. And I try to talk myself out of it, and I'm just saying, you know, you can't save everybody, but if you don't try to save at least one person, then you're not. What value do you hold? You know.
Well, I switched from helping people individually at a small scale here at my local mental health community mental health clinic to now I'm trying to scale more. And, you know, it's not as simple, it turns out, as fix the money, fix the world. But if you create better environments for people, then they are able to help themselves more. People's behavior is based on their people, places, and things and experiences, and not on some magic thing inside of them that is either pure good or pure evil. People are a combination of their influences. And so when we do things in the Hex community that are either directly helping others or indirectly creating a better environment in the world that then allows people to thrive, either way, it's a great situation. And there's, what's the saying? You know, there's a lot of ways to say the same thing. Is like, you know, if you're in the right soil, then you can grow better. And so the more that we as Hexicans can give the world better soil to thrive in, I think the better. And that does not mean putting shit coins in the soil.
Right.
That's not the type of fertilizer we need. T-shirts, baby.
So I want to throw a little perception thing here, and this is one of those old little psychology things. Okay, now if you're looking at this, you see there's a number. Okay, and of course it's reversed, isn't it? Is it reversed? It's reversed. Damn it! So I got to draw it in reverse. All right. Depending on which side of this board you're standing on, if you're standing up here, it's one number. But if you're standing down here, it's a completely different number. So it's not always that people are right or wrong. Sometimes it's just a matter of their perspective, where they're standing. And that is hard for people to get, because sometimes it's very difficult to get people to go, come here. Come here. Stand over here on this side. We're arguing about the same thing. And you'll find that the people that are really hardcore crypto want the same things. They want self-sovereignty. They want independence. They want financial freedom. They want to be part of the ecosystem where they are earning. They want these things. But the problem is they're looking at things from the wrong angle. And until they take a step around the other side of the board and look at it from a different angle, they're not going to get it. But we're not able to make them do that. Change has to come from within. We can tell people till we're blue in the face, do this, do that, do this, do that, but they have to come to their own conclusions. All we can do is provide them with the tools and point them in the right direction and say, hey, you might want to look at it from this angle. They'll either accept it or they won't. But over time, as things change, they will see. Again, nobody pre-2016 would have ever said $100,000 Bitcoin. That is totally new. Again, the people that are in this space that are representing this space all generally came in around 2016. There are very few of them, that, especially the ones that are running their mouths, those are not the people that have been here all along. Those are the people that made a right choice, and they want to justify that right choice to make themselves look like geniuses. So, Maddie, we're almost at 3 hours, man. I got to
Thanks for coming. I'm going to sign off here too. Johnny, you're the best. Thank you so much for coming on. It's really been awesome. And yeah.
Well, thanks for having me, bro. And next time I'll let you talk more.
Oh, dude, I'm good. People hear me talk. I did a 4.5 hour episode earlier this week. A couple hours with Aubrey DeGray and a couple hours with David Feeder. So it's been awesome to have you on here. And yeah, guys, I did a video earlier today where I claimed Pulse Dogecoin. Some people are asking about it. So I can't tell you whether you think if it's safe or not, but if you check out that video, I verbally go through how to read some code in MetaMask when the window pops up so that you can make your own decision about how safe anything is. And then, unfortunately, I wasn't sharing my screen at the time, so maybe I'll get a chance to post a video with the screen share.
It's much like the pre-claim, like Uniswap. It's pretty much just like the Uniswap pre-claim. Same permissions and everything.
Listen to the words that I'm saying, because MetaMask has updated the way that you can read the code in the pop-up. So that's very helpful to avoid scam claims. And never claim an airdrop that is unknown to you. Meaning people airdrop things that like NFTs that MetaMask blocks because literally claiming the NFT would give somebody the ability to hack your entire wallet. So this, in general, airdrops are not without risk, which is why you usually want to see multiple people do a claim, YouTubers that you're familiar with before you do it yourself. But the fact that MetaMask updated to allow you to read the code better is even more important. And so I'll do my best. Here's what I'll do. I'll at least share a screenshot on my community tab to show you what that looks like. So thanks everybody for being here. And I'm going to play an outro, and I'll keep making pop-up videos as I can. But it's really awesome. Hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't. It's really awesome to have such a great community here. So shout out to everybody, and stake wisely, my friends. Peace out.
It's from Maddie ALLin of HexTherapy.live. I like Maddie. Maddie tries to make the world a healthier place. He's a mental health professional. He's done research. There's nothing that a human being could do better than try and heal his fellow man.